Final game of the regular season between the Blue Jays and Aaron Boone's New York Yankees. The Yankees right now are the 5 seed. The Blue Jays are the 8 seed, but there still are some things that could change. And, of course, the Blue Jays haven't clinched yet, but with the win, they do that tonight. Here's the starting lineup for the Yankees, brought to you by TD, proud fan and official bank of the Toronto Blue Jays. There's no Aaron Judge in the Yankee lineup tonight, but there is DJ LeMahieu, and that's bad news for the Blue Jays. 15 hits, including 5 home runs in 9 games against Blue Jay pitching this year.
Now the Yankees will see Hyun-Jin Ryu for a second time. He faced him back on the 7th of September and he had a rough outing. He gave up back-to-back home runs in the first inning. And on a couple of fastballs, Luke Voit and Aaron Hicks took him deep, and Aaron Boone has put the same lineup together tonight. Top 3 are the same as they were in that last start. Ryu didn't have a real good fastball that night, and he kind of got scared off his fastball after those 2 fastballs were hit out of the ballpark in the first inning. His velocity is down about 88 miles an hour in that game, but since then it's been up a little bit more, and he's used his fastball and cutter much more effectively. Take a look at the defense for the Blue Jays. Biggio's back at third, making his 8th start. Vladdy Guerrero's over at first. Danny Jansen's behind the plate, as he has been with Ryu all season long. Gurriel's in left, Hernandez is in right, and we thought we'd focus on Randal Grichuk, who's had a great year in center field. Randal is making his 45th start in center. He has not committed an error. He's got 2 outfield assists, and he's done a much better job, I think, than anybody anticipated. He is really rock solid out there defensively in center.
So here we go. A potentially big night for the Blue Jays. If they win tonight, they are in the playoffs. The Angels don't play tonight. The Mariners don't play tonight. So there's nothing to follow on the out-of-town scoreboard. It's all about this game between the Blue Jays and the Yankees in Buffalo. LeMahieu to lead it off. Jansen to Visconti is the home plate umpire. He says play ball. Jansen flashing the signs. And off they go. Strike 1 call. LeMahieu, Voit, and Hicks, the top third of the order. This is the major league leader in batting average at 360. Got an OPS over 1,000. And really crushed Blue Jay pitching last week in the Bronx. Relatively speaking, they have held him in check here in Buffalo as he drives a ball to left center field. Gurriel is there, 1 down.
Wow, that was a good pitch. That tied up LeMahieu. He didn't get extended on that pitch. It was 89 miles an hour right inside, and that's a good start for Ryu. Get that first out of the way.
Yeah, of his last 9 starts, 8 of them have been really good. The one exception was his start against the Yankees back on September the 7th. There's Luke Voit, the major league leader in home runs with 21, and he was one of the guys who homered off Ryu back on the 7th of September.
He had a first pitch fastball out of the ballpark, and then right behind him, Aaron Hicks took him deep as well.
Down and away for ball 1. Voit trying to become the 8th New York Yankee to lead the majors in home runs, and you can imagine the list that he's on has some pretty impressive names, including Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Joe DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle, Roger Maris. And look at his look of frustration. Little check swing roller to Bichette at short, 2 down. Also Alex Rodriguez and Wally Pipp is on that list.
Yeah, Wally Pipp doesn't get the respect he deserves because everybody talks about Babe Ruth taking over, Lou Gehrig taking over for Wally Pipp and never getting back in the lineup, but he was a good player.
A quick couple of outs for Ryu here in the top of the first, and now here's Aaron Hicks, who also homered off Ryu in the first inning of the last game between these two, September the 7th, when Ryu faced the Yankees. Hicks, a switch hitter, batting for the right side, hitting just .221, but draws a ton of walks, so a lofty on-base percentage. Curveball drops in there. The Yankees come in 32-24. They are 2 games back of the White Sox in the race for the 4th seed. The Rays have won the division. The Yankees cannot win the division, so the best they can be is the 4 seed. And 2 back of the White Sox, and the White Sox have the tiebreaker, so really they got to be 3 games better than them the rest of the way with 4 to go. The Blue Jays are in the 8th seed. They're 3 back of Cleveland for 7th, and also 3 back of the Yankees. it's not impossible for the Blue Jays to overtake the Yankees. A lot would have to happen. But right now, I think all that's on the minds of the Blue Jays is win this game tonight.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen. If you win, you're in. You don't have to worry about anybody else. You don't have to wait for any late scores from the West Coast. You take care of your own fate right here tonight.
The 2-1. And a swing and a foul off. 2-2 on Hicks.
Already you see much better velocity from Ryu with his fastball than the Yankees saw the last time he faced him. His fastball was just 88 miles an hour on average against New York, and he got off of it. He threw him a lot of off-speed pitches and actually surrendered 3 home runs in that outing. It's the first time he had given up 3 home runs in a game since 2019, and it was the Yankees that hit 3 in that game.
Looking for a 3-up, 3-down first. 2-2, the count on Hicks. And a curveball almost hits him in the back foot. Full count. Yankees have been in Buffalo a lot. Of the 10 games between the two teams, 7 of them here in Buffalo, 3 in the Bronx. The Yankees will finish up with Miami over the weekend, Giancarlo Stanton's former team. And the Blue Jays will stay in Buffalo and finish up with the Orioles.
Backdoor cutter, and a pretty good one. And there's so much about a pitcher's success just determined in the first inning. How you feel, how the pitches are working. We watched Ryu warm up and looked like he was feeling pretty confident about the stuff he was featuring down in the bullpen, and he's taking it through the first 2 batters at least here tonight.
Yeah, got the first 2 outs very quickly. Now getting a good battle here from Aaron Hicks, but it is won by Ryu. A changeup to get him, and he sets down the Yankees in order in the top of the first. Hyun-Jin Ryu. He has been the ace, hasn't he? Come up in the bottom of the first in Buffalo against the Yankees, and this could very well be a Game 1 playoff lineup. More on that a little bit later on, but how about the night that Danny Jansen had last night, and how about the numbers in his career against the New York Yankees? A .373 hitter with 6 home runs in 18 games. He hit 2 of those homers last night.
And Danny did a great job last night getting it going. Jordan Montgomery will face the Blue Jays for a second time this season. For Montgomery, this will be his 10th start of the season. He's 27 years old. He's dealt with Tommy John in the past. He faced Blue Jays and Ryu on the 7th of September. He got a no decision, gave up 6 hits in 3 1/3. Had some troubles with walks. He walked a couple. That's the most he's walked in an outing. The most he has pitched this season. He's 6 innings against Atlanta.
And Kevin Biggio will lead it off for the Blue Jays. Kevin is at third base tonight as he continues to bounce around the field, spending a decent amount of time at third. You got Jonathan Villar at second base tonight. And the reason we said this could be a Game 1 lineup is the Blue Jays, assuming they make it and assuming they play Tampa Bay, both of which are the most likely situations, they're going to get Blake Snell in Game 1. So this is a possible lineup they would put out there against a lefty, with Kirk DHing, Villar a switch hitter at second, Shaw and Panic on the bench. They could go other ways, but this could be it.
Yeah, and this is why Kirk's the DH tonight against Jordan Montgomery, just to get a look and see how he handles that DH slot. And it's a strong possibility that could be the lineup if those scenarios are in place.
3-1 to Biggio.
Cavan has a great eye, as we know, and he has 18 walks in September. That's tied with the Yankees center fielder Aaron Hicks for the most in the month.
Fly ball down the left field line. Gardner coming over for a look. Jumps and cannot make the catch. Boy, a terrific effort. And he's staring down that wall like he's angry at it right now that he couldn't make that play.
Yeah, he might have hit his arm pretty hard on that padding. And You know, this foul territory is not that dissimilar to that of Yankee Stadium, and you see he hit his elbow pretty hard on the top of that padding. Probably felt that a little bit. You get everything he's got on every single play, that's for sure.
Just beyond his reach. He's still looking over at the netting that extends all the way down the lines in Buffalo. So 3-2 the count on Biggio here to get things started in the bottom of the first. And strike three called on a ball that looked a couple of inches low.
Well, what a way for the Yankees. Let's take a look at the defense. The defense is brought to you by TD, proud fan and official bank of the Toronto Blue Jays. In the outfield, Gardner's in left, Hicks is in center. No Aaron Judge tonight. Clint Frazier moves from left last night over to right field. Torres and LeMahieu up the middle. Urshela and Boyd at the corners, and Kyle Higashioka is behind the plate. I think there's a couple of reasons he's back there. First of all, Jordan Montgomery, the pitcher, is very slow and deliberate to the plate. He is not allowed anybody to throw out a base runner. Well, the dugout has given the umpire an earful right now about that last pitch. But Montgomery has allowed all four base stealers to steal, and Higashioka is a strong thrower.
Oh, 2 the count on Bo Bichette. Bo DH last night, back out there at shortstop tonight. Went 2 for 3 with a double and a couple of walks last night. Just about everybody got in on the action for the Blue Jays last night as they scored 14 runs on 16 hits. It has been a series of one-sided games so far. The Blue Jays winning 2 of them, the Yankees winning 1.
Well, Montgomery's thrown 2 pretty good fastballs to Bichette right up and in, about letter high on the hands. To a 4-seam fastball on the first foul ball, a 2-seamer on the second one.
Good career numbers against the Blue Jays for Montgomery. And he gets Bichette swinging and missing at a ball on the outside corner, 2 down.
And threw him a good changeup right there. And Mo's got a little look out to the mound. You have to say, well, I put that in my memory bank. You can see the grip on that changeup. A little bit of movement, but it's 84 miles an hour opposed to 93 inside.
So back-to-back strikeouts for Montgomery, who you'd probably slot in as the number 5 starter in the Yankee rotation if they were to get to a 5-game series. Of course, you got Cole and Tanaka, and then probably J-Happ and Davy Garcia in one order or another, and then Montgomery sliding in after that. Here's Teoscar Hernandez, still hitting over 300, the OPS of 956. Had 1 hit and 5 trips last night. And he drives a ball to right field. Frazier giving chase, makes the catch. Boy, a good play by Clint Frazier to deny Hernandez, and the Blue Jays go in order in the bottom of the first.
Catcher's spot in the Blue Jays batting order hasn't produced much offense this season. That is, until just recently. Alejandro Kirk's first big league home run highlighted his 4-hit performance on Monday, and then of course last night Danny Jansen continued to see the ball well off Masahiro Tanaka, resulting in the most productive offensive showing of his major league career. Now, Tanaka's splitter, obviously his go-to pitch, Jansen tells me. When he throws that down, it's a really hard pitch to hit. I just wanted to see a pitch up and then be able to put the barrel on it. Jansen maintains his priority is his defense, but that last night was a confidence boost for a catcher struggling with the bat. I'm going to ride this wave and keep going, he told me, and just continue pushing myself. Dan.
Thank you, Hazel. Well, the Blue Jays would love to ride the wave of offense from their catchers, whether it's Jansen or Kirk or both of them in the lineup at the same time, as is the case tonight. Makes the lineup a lot deeper when they know they'll get a little bit more from Jansen. And Kirk, again, very limited at bats. He's only got 17 major league at bats, but he's got 7 hits. He has barreled up fastball after fastball since he got to the big leagues. Mike Petriello talked about it on the pregame show with Jamie. I think the number was 36. He has seen 36 fastballs in the big leagues. He has not swung and missed once. He can hit a fastball.
Yes, he can. And it doesn't matter where it is or how hard it is. He can get barrel on it.
Giancarlo Stanton hitting cleanup, DHing for the Yankees as he looks at a strike, and it's 2-1.
You know, with Jansen getting 4 hits, Kirk got 4 hits in the opener of this series. It's the first time in franchise history 2 catchers have had 4 hits in the same series.
Man, I had you and Ernie being all over that back in the day.
I think we were in a different series when we did it.
Fouled back 2-2. There were a lot of firsts after what Kirk did. Youngest to do this, youngest to do that. But you know, if both of them are going, it gives Charlie Montoyo options. Whether Kirk catches, whether he DHs, whether you hold him back as a pinch hitter. It just gives you another body, makes your bench a little bit deeper, either if he's on it or if he's in the lineup and another semi-regular's available off the bench.
Here we are, 12th start of the season, and Ryu still has to wait out a whole series of signs from Jansen. And now he's got the one he wants. He didn't want it there. He wanted that cutter inside, left it out over the plate.
I think Stanton and Judge still kind of getting their timing back since they've come back from the injured list.
Yeah, but we saw Stanton in New York have that great night. He had 4 hits in that game, a couple home runs, and you know, he's really interesting, and they're totally different in the way they set up at the plate.
Goes after a changeup on the outside corner, and Bichette throws him out, 1 down.
4 in a row for Ryu to start this game.
Where would they be without him, Buck?
Man.
Yeah.
Well, we mentioned the team is 8-3 in his starts. This is his 12th start of the season, and the other starters combined are 21 and 24. And that's what you want from your ace. He's a stopper. Any losing streaks, he stops.
Yeah, the analytics show Charlie gets 3 hours more sleep a night the night before a Hunch-in Ryu start.
He's so confident with Ryu, he called his first meeting of the season last Saturday in Philadelphia when Ryu was starting.
Yep.
Didn't necessarily work out as they lost that game.
And remember, the first 2 starts as Gleyber Torres steps in for the Yankees, Ryu wasn't great. His first 2 against Tampa Bay and Washington, had some command issues in the first one. The Nationals seemed to have a really good game plan against him. Waited on his off-speed stuff, took him to the opposite field. But ever since then, with the exception of the 1 game against the Yankees, he has been lights out.
Dan, I think the problem for him early on was he just didn't have enough work in summer camp. I don't think he had the arm strength to get command. You know, you can talk about velocity, and the velocity was pretty good, but he didn't have that finish on his cutter or his fastball that really is what sets up his off-speed pitches. That pitch right there, and even though it missed, it's a very effective cutter inside. So when hitters like Torres see that pitch inside, borderline strike, then the outside becomes very, very good for Ryu. He can go outside with a cutter, a changeup, drop a curveball out there. Both sides of the plate are in play.
And by pitching tonight, Ryu, of course, is right on track for a Game 1 start on Tuesday against an opponent to be determined, probably, though, Tampa Bay. But they haven't clinched, so you can't make this kind of a tune-up, shorter start. You don't want to poke the baseball gods, right? You got to win the game. You got to win.
Yeah, no question about it. And Charlie Montoyo understands that. Ryu's out there to pitch to win the game. No matter how many pitches it takes, as long as he's effective, he's going to stay in the game.
And as you said, in a season like this, guys have made 12 starts, not 32, heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, and so at the end of September, you're not worn down. And Charlie's been great giving Ryu an extra day. He did a couple times this season where he would talk to Ryu, and Ryu said, you know what, I could use an extra day, and they gave him that extra day.
Change up lifted to right field. Teoscar coming over near the line, and he'll make the catch for the second out. And I don't know who cracked him up. I mean, he's a good audience, but somebody said something really funny to him. If you had to be a stand-up comic, wouldn't you put Teoscar right in the front row?
It'd be perfect.
Yeah, you're going to get laughs.
Yeah, he would laugh at everything. Such a good guy, such a big part of this team, and boy, has he had a breakout season.
Gio Urshela, the batter. He's on a 12-game hitting streak for the Yankees, hitting .447 over that stretch. Lines it to left center, and he's on a 13-game hitting streak. Up against the wall on a couple of bounces, and Urshela can cruise into second with a 2-out double.
It looked like just a fastball. He tried to just get ahead in the at-bat, and Urshela was all over it. You see how he throws that four-seam fastball, and just out over the plate. No real location to it, and Urshela, as hot as he's been, takes advantage of it. A couple of hops up against the fence in left center. Comes with 2 outs.
So the first base runner surrendered by Ryu. And with 2 down, he will face Clint Frazier. We already saw him make a nice catch out in right field tonight. And a fastball there, 0-1.
Ryu's really handled the bottom part of batting orders this season. The top 3 batters in the lineup average 289. From 4 to 9, they average 211. And that's the savvy experience of Ryu. Jammed him with that good cutter. And you know, the top 3 guys in everybody's lineup are their best 3 hitters. And we talked about it during this series, how the number 2 hitter has become the focal point. Voigt's hitting 2 tonight. Judge hit 2 last night. It's the power hitting spot now in baseball across the board.
Urshela out at second, but an 0-2 count on Frazier as Ryu tries to get out of it and strand a runner. Throw to second, and VR was not on the bag. So either some miscommunication there, or not sure what was happening, but fortunately the ball didn't go into center field.
Yeah, it was kind of funny because Ryu didn't really spin around real fast like he was going to pick anybody off. It's almost like he just wanted to play catch a minute.
Curveball and a check swing by Frazier. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, we've already seen liberal use of the fastball, the cutter, the curveball, and the change tonight.
Yeah, he got that fastball in on Frazier's hands, and I bet you Clint's thinking about that pitch. Now it might be time for that changeup. 1-2 count. Changeup's been real good for him. So go ahead. You can go backdoor with the cutter. You can throw a changeup away, but I wouldn't try to rush anything inside right now. Changeup away, and he missed. Frazier's got good power to the opposite field. Now it's a matter of how Ryu feels about inside. He's thrown some good cutters early in this game.
The 2-2. Missed inside with a fastball. It's a full count on Frazier.
Yeah, went four-seamer and missed. Pulled it to the inside.
Ryu, in his last 9 starts, has walked only 11 batters in 51 innings. And he has struck out 59 over those 51 innings, despite obviously not being an overpowering guy, but just such a good mix of pitches. Went back to the change.
He's got so much confidence in that pitch, and he throws it so well. Great arm action, great spin on the baseball. Looks like a fastball coming out of his hands, and he never tips it with changing his delivery. He's got a great delivery. That's how he's so consistent. His delivery's the same on all the pitches he throws. Another long battle to get to the right pitch.
And he got him. A cutter in to strike out Frazier, and the Yankees will leave a man on at second against Ryu. Brought to you by the new PC Money account, a whole new way to think about money. And here's an interesting discovery. The Toronto Blue Jays outfield group leads the American League in slugging, OPS, on-base plus slugging, and wins above replacement. Gurriel, Grichuk, and Teoscar Hernandez have been about as good an outfield group, especially offensively, as there is in the American League.
Absolutely, and they've had great consistent seasons. Randall's been a little bit up and down, but his numbers for the season are very respectable. And the interesting part is Gurriel's 26, Grichuk's 28, and Teo's 27. They're in the prime of their careers, and things are starting to click for them. Teoscar has a 956 OPS. He's among the league leaders in that category.
Grichuk will lead it off, hitting cleanup again tonight for the Blue Jays. I was looking just for fun at American League MVP candidates, and like Teoscar's not going to win it, and he's not going to finish in the top 5. But he's going to get some votes. He could finish 8th, 9th, 10th, something like that. And if anybody had said before the season Teoscar Hernandez has a chance to finish in the top 10 in MVP balloting, everybody would have signed up for that in a heartbeat.
Yeah. No, he has had some breakout season. He's made some adjustments in his approach, and it's paid off.
There are a lot of good candidates. Jose Abreu with the White Sox, Tim Anderson, Nelson Cruz. I think Luke Voigt and DJ LeMahieu both get a lot of consideration. Shane Bieber gets a lot of consideration.
For sure. And how about Jose Ramirez now?
Yeah, he's as hot as anybody. Ground ball pulled down to third. Grichuk retired for the first out.
Tough to get it by Urshela over at third. He's now had 103 total chances, has yet to commit an error this season. He's got a great glove, and the bat has come around for him last year, and it's carried into this year. He's already extended his hit streak to 12 games.
And now here's Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Vladdy hitting .254, 7 home runs. Had 2 hits and 3 RBIs in last night's game. The hits were a single and a double. And the RBIs got him to 100 RBIs in his career.
The youngest Blue Jay to reach 100 RBIs all time. He knocked Lloyd Moseby off of that pedestal. Moseby reached 100 in 1982. Vladdy, you can see 21 years old. Moseby was 22. Junior Felix, he was 22 as well. And of course, John Olerud in his first great season. Alex Gonzalez, a terrific shortstop, reached 100 RBIs at the age of 23 as well. Some good names there. Of course, John Olerud became a batting champ. Alex Gonzalez had a great career. Vladdy's on the verge of having a great career, and things are starting to turn around for him in the right direction.
We have certainly seen more smiles on his face the last few days than we saw before. He's had an up and down year, and sometimes he's kind of worn that emotion. You can see it both offensively and defensively. And he swings and lifts a fly ball to deep left. Gardner is going back. It is gone. Vladdy hits one out, number 8 on the season, and the Blue Jays have the lead.
Well, we've been talking about Vladdy all season long as we hope to get him hot. And boy, is he getting hot at the right time. A big night last night, as we mentioned. Guerrero had a couple of RBIs in that game. He drove in 3 actually, and now he drives in the first run of the game, and he breaks out in a big smile. He puts the Blue Jays on the board. This is a special night for a group of young players. They know what's at stake tonight. They win, and they're in.
Now Lourdes Gurriel Jr. One more look at the Guerrero home run.
Yeah, it's that slider inside, and he really didn't barrel it up. He hit it on the end of the bat, but that's a pretty good example of how strong he is.
This one twisting out of play down the right field line. You know, it's funny, you see him have a couple of good at bats, and it doesn't take much, I think, for anybody who follows the team to say, he's right there. It's coming, right? Because you see the ability. Everybody knows the talent. Everybody has seen the minor league numbers.
Well, he has hit some ground balls in this series that have been well over 100 miles an hour off the bat. And he got that one in the air. And like I say, he didn't really square it up.
Didn't square it up, and it went 412 feet.
Yeah, that's how strong he is.
And a swing and a miss. Gurriel down on strikes, 2 down.
Beauty Tone is the official paint of the Toronto Blue Jays. Only available at Home Hardware. Here's how.
Dan Shulman, Buck Martinez, Hazel May. It's the last week of the regular season, and it potentially is a big night for the Blue Jays. If they win tonight, they are in the playoffs. It would be the 8th trip to the postseason in franchise history. And granted, this one's a little bit different, expanded playoff system and so forth, but nobody wearing a blue jersey tonight cares about that. They just want to get in and keep on playing as long as they can. And they're awfully excited to have this guy as part of the team right now with what he's done the last couple of weeks. And I think he's got the full attention and respect of the New York Yankees with the way he has swung the bat in this series.
Yeah, he had that 4-hit game on Monday, including his first double and his first big league homer. And he goes down swinging at that changeup.
So 4 strikeouts for Montgomery, but a home run by Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And the Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead at the end of 2.
The Blue Jays on the board first with his 8th home run of the season, and we've come to learn Guerrero is a fun-loving guy. During batting practice this afternoon, Guerrero was sporting a GoPro on his head. Now, I reached out to translator Hector LeBron, who told me Guerrero was testing it out because he wants to document the day. More importantly, he wants to document tonight in the event the Blue Jays clinch a postseason spot. So maybe he'll share some footage with us, Dan. So whenever that may happen, we'll see.
Well, that would be something. I'm sure that would be all over his Instagram account. He is funny. We've talked about it all year. He's 21, and he's just a big kid. He really is.
He won't be 22 until next March. He is a kid. He loves to play baseball, that's for sure. He's having some fun. He'd really show me something if he wore that GoPro out on the field.
In the game?
Yeah.
There's Kyle Higashioka getting the start behind the plate tonight for the Yankees. And a changeup is lifted into shallow center. Grichuk couldn't find it in the twilight for a moment and then did for the out. We've seen that a few times in Buffalo this summer.
Yeah, that happened to the Yankees in the first game of this series. And now he said, I lost it for a little while, but he picked it up. And you just, as an outfitter, what you do is just keep looking in that spot you think it's going to come down and hope you see it. But the lights are low here in Buffalo, and every once in a while a high fly ball will get above the lights and you'll lose it for a moment, but you got to stay focused on that same spot. It's really not unlike playing at Tropicana Field with that roof.
Yeah. One down for Brett Gardner, batting 9th, playing left, and hot. 357 over his last 10 games, even though he's only hitting 208 on the season. He's been hot to get to 208. Been with the Yankees a long time, drafted by them back in 2005. Nobody has been with the team longer among the current group than Brett Gardner. The Yankees, by the way, are heading to the postseason for the 22nd time in the last 26 years. And this year, Buck, is their 28th consecutive winning season.
Yeah, the gold standard for sure among championships, as the Yankees have been over the years.
But looking right now, most likely at being the 5 seed and having to go on the road to play either the White Sox or the Twins.
Yankees haven't played great on the road. They're just 11-17. They got that great home record, 21-7. And this lineup is built to hit in Yankee Stadium. I don't care what you say. They have right-handed hitters that hit it out to right field.
3-0, and he jabs at it and bunts right through it. Boy, 3-0. He was going to put one down on 3-0, but he came up empty, and it's 3-1.
Exactly what he was trying to do. Biggio was deep at third, 3-0. He's trying to bunt this thing. He just missed it.
And now pops it up. Jansen over for a look. And here comes Bichette in the shift. It's the shortstop on the left side of the infield, coming a long way to make the play. 2 down.
Yeah, and you can see all the infielders are aware this time of the night you have to converge on anything in the air in case the other defender didn't see it. And Bo came a long way to make the catch in foul ground.
So once through the order, Hyun-Jin Ryu's been very good. He's given up just 1 hit, a double to Gio Urshela, who nobody can get out right now. And back to the top of the order for DJ LeMahieu.
Like I said, I've gone back and looked at video, looked at numbers, trying to figure out where I would attack DJ LeMahieu. I don't have a plan. I can't figure it out. They got inside on him last time up. Hit a soft liner to the left.
This one off the end of the bat and a soft liner to right for a base hit. And not a bad pitch by Ryu.
He hits more base hits to right field than anybody in the game. I mean, he just stays on the ball. He's got confidence. He'll let the ball travel. He hits this ball off the end of the bat, but still he's thinking in the right direction, and that's why he's able to hit it off the end of the bat and get it into right field. If he tries to pull that ball, he rolls over on it, so we ground it to the shortstop. He can really hit, man.
So a base runner with 2 down for Luke Voigt. You think Vladdy's talking to LeMahieu over at first about, hey, do you ever wear a GoPro when you come out to the BP?
Yeah. I don't think DJ has ever worn a GoPro on the baseball field. He's all businessman.
Yep. Ground ball to third. Biggio got it, and the short way to force the runner and retire the side. Jays Club, presented by Boston Pizza. With your membership, you'll receive an official membership pack, which includes a Blue Jay duffel bag, baseball cap, ace patch, and an official Junior Jays Club membership card. Membership cards are valid through the 2021 season. Fans 14 and under are invited to become a member of the Junior Jays Club by having their parent or guardian purchase an official membership at bluejays.com/Junior Jays Club. What a great fan base this team has all over the place.
2 beautiful little girls right there.
Right.
Granddaughters there. Lara and Zoe watch the game. That's awesome.
Blue Jays up 1-0 as they come up in the bottom of the third on a home run by Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And Jordan Montgomery will face Jonathan Villar. Villar getting the start at second base. And again, not that it always has to be this way, but against a lefty, you get the switch hitter Villar in there. You've got the 2 left-handed bats in Shaw and Panic not in the lineup, available off the bench whenever the team goes to a right-handed pitcher later. So, whoops. I think Villar is going to have to pay a bill.
Send it to Toronto, please.
And again, if the Blue Jays see the Rays and Blake Snell, this could be a Game 1 lineup.
Yeah, and right now the Blue Jays only have 3 extra men, but I imagine they'll have probably 5 in the postseason when they get there. But now they have Panic and Shaw on the bench and Jonathan Davis. 2 catchers are in the game tonight. One is the DH.
Yeah, you and I both think there's a decent chance they carry 3 catchers so that guy, Alejandro Kirk, it frees him up to DH a little bit. It also, you can pinch hit or pinch run for whoever the starting catcher is. Say it's Jansen, then you have, whether it's Caleb Joseph or Reese McGuire, somebody else to come into the game. But it all starts with pitching. And in a 3-game series, right now the Blue Jays have 16 pitchers and 12 position players. You'd think that they would be comfortable getting down to 14 pitchers, which would give them 2 more position players who theoretically could be Santiago Espinal and a 3rd catcher.
Right. And I think that's a good combination. You know, we don't have any inside information other than what we have seen and the things we learn as we pay attention, but the rotation should be 3 men.
This ball is well struck down the left field line, but he has hooked it foul.
The rotation, I believe, is going to set up Ryu, Walker, and Shoemaker. I think it'll be 1, 2, 3. Ryu, Walker, and Shoemaker in 3 games, and Shoemaker threw the ball very well in his return to the rotation. Charlie Montoya loves his experience and his makeup. He threw the ball hard the other day, and I think then you could possibly back him up with Robbie Ray.
Right. Pick your spots with Ray depending on where in the lineup the Rays are. Rays have a lot of left-handed bats, although a couple of them are on the IL right now in Austin Meadows and G-Man Choi.
Yandy Diaz, a right-handed hitting third baseman. He too is dealing with a hamstring injury, so they're not quite 100%, but they're good. We know how good they are.
Blue Jays haven't seen him since really the first half of this shortened season. Played all their games early against Tampa Bay. They are tracking this one. Voit over for a look, but this one will be out of play. Tampa Bay with the best record in the league at 37-20. They are 2 games. Let's see. Yeah, they are 2 games ahead of both Oakland and Minnesota for the best record in the American League. So they're not in the clear, but they certainly are in the driver's seat for the best record. And one plays 8, and right now the Jays are the 8. Didn't go. 2-2. One of the other interesting developments for the Blue Jays in the next few days is that Nate Pearson is now back on the active roster. To make room for Pearson, Wilmer Font was DFA'd today, and whether Pearson pitches tonight or tomorrow, they obviously and rightly want to get him into a game before they decide whether or not they can have him on the playoff roster, as VR hits a screamer down to third.
Well, we mentioned it's tough to get it past Urshela at third base on the ground or in the air. He spears that line drive that would have been extra bases had it gotten by the third baseman. VR hit it hard. He hit a couple of balls well in this at bat, but this one's right to the third baseman.
And here's Danny Jansen. Coming off his big night last night, went 4 for 4 with a single, a double, and 2 home runs. And yes, one of them was off Eric Kratz, the number 3 catcher for the Yankees, who was out there throwing knuckleballs in the bottom of the 8th. But it was still a great night for Jansen.
Well, you remember DJ LeMahieu hit one off Santiago Espinal in New York, so I guess it counts just the same.
That's right, yeah. Kratz has pitched for the Yankees twice in their last 4 games. LeMahieu stationed up the middle, and Jansen retired.
The Fan Frenzy contest presented by TD is happening this weekend with tons of prizes available. Visit BlueJays.com/FanFrenzy contest to enter.
The Blue Jays finishing up the regular season this weekend in downtown Buffalo. They've got the Orioles in for 3 over the weekend after this game tonight. And then in all likelihood heading somewhere. Need one more win to officially lock down a playoff spot. You don't see Biggio in swing mode very often on the first pitch, but he was up there going after that inside fastball.
Yeah, he was looking fastball, and Montgomery threw it in a good spot. 94 down and in.
Vladimir Guerrero with a home run for the only run of the ball game tonight.
Guerrero saying, "Hey man, you broke the window up there."
You're right.
Yeah. He's a kid.
Yeah. And I got it on my GoPro and everything. I bet you he's giving the GoPro to somebody who's not in the lineup tonight.
And you know it. Yeah.
Somebody's wearing it, I bet you.
And they've got a picture of him. They got a recording of him hitting a home run.
They know how to laugh, that's for sure. 2-2 on Biggio.
Montgomery was nice and patient with that breaking ball. He bounced one earlier in this at bat, and that time he just took his time and drops it in there for a strike.
And Biggio gives one a ride to deep center field. And it's down and on the track, picked up by Aaron Hicks, who took kind of an odd route to that ball. Biggio's got a double.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but it looked like Hicks was just kind of jogging after it initially. Maybe he didn't see it off the bat. Biggio hit a double off Montgomery the last time he faced him here in Buffalo, and this time he gets one out over the plate and squares it up, barrels it up, but Hicks was just kind of jogging over there like he didn't really see it. I don't know that he could have caught it, but it was funny the way he went after it.
Maybe he thought it was hit harder than it was. He was heading back toward the wall, and the ball bounced even before the warning track. So it's a double for Biggio with 2 down, and now here's Bo Bichette. Bo struck out on a changeup away his first time up. Pokes it foul, 0-1.
Yeah, they were trying to get inside. That's the way they pitched him in the first at bat. You know, it's been hit or miss for Bo since he's come off the IL. He missed those 27 games, and we have seen him really put some great at-bats together, and then we've seen him show the signs of rust a little bit, chasing pitches that he normally won't chase. You see, he's using his 2-strike approach now, even before he gets to 2 strikes. That time he kept his front foot on the ground, just trying to have more consistent at-bats. Nothing gets by Bo.
So you think that's just because he doesn't have his timing quite down yet?
Exactly. Using his 2-strike approach just to get back in the groove. You keep that front foot on the ground with 2 strikes, and he did it on that previous pitch. Jansen Visconti got something in his eye. That ball in the dirt kicked some dirt up, and it got the umpire. All that drying agent that's mixed in that dirt around home plate. Ball hits in the dirt and it flies everywhere. It's the last thing an umpire needs, something in his eye.
I was going to say, like, if the dugouts are in the wrong mood, you know, they can turn that against him, right? 1 2 strikes on to Bichette with Biggio out at second and 2 down.
He can get to that changeup even though it's up and away, because he just trusts his hands with 2 strikes that he can get to anything. We have seen him rip some fastballs inside 95 miles an hour. He can get to him and pull him foul. He's tough with 2 strikes, man.
It felt like one of the lowest days of the season for the Blue Jays, the day that we found out he was hurt and would be out several weeks with a knee injury. The team wasn't playing particularly well at the time, and he came back and they played well in his absence, but it sure didn't feel like it back then. They deserve a lot of credit, especially with him out. Hooked down the left field line, and it is a fair ball. Biggio in to score, and Bichette into second, and it's 2-0.
All right, that's another great example of a good young hitter making adjustments. He knows he's not 100% right with his timing, so he shortens up. He fouled off a tough changeup up and away. He waits back on his breaking ball and is able to keep it fair. That's a good pitch. That pitch is down and in, but he stays all the way through the ball and drives it down the left field line. He hits right on the chalk line, and he comes up with an RBI double. Back-to-back 2-out doubles.
And a 2-0 lead now for the Blue Jays in the bottom of the third, and it's been the kids. Guerrero with a homer, and then Biggio and Bichette with a back-to-back doubles. And as Montgomery gets a visit, here's a quote from Cavan Biggio just a couple of days ago as the Blue Jays came out of that losing streak, started playing better, got closer to a playoff spot. And this is a quote that's going to get the fan base all excited, and rightly so. He thinks they're just scratching the surface of what they're going to be able to do, and to see it coming this early in their careers gives us a little glimpse of what he says they think they can do in the future.
Yeah, and certainly they're wise beyond their years. There's no question about it. This group won in Double-A. They always have said, hey, we're going to win in the big leagues too. And, you know, they're very close. They're really close off the field. They're great baseball teammates, and they want to win for each other. And the front office has done a heck of a job of changing the culture and chemistry of this ball club, bringing these kids together. The trades they made to acquire people like Teoscar Hernandez, very crucial in the development of that character.
Hernandez with a fly ball to deep right. Frazier made a nice play on it back in the first inning. 1-1.
And Teoscar's season has a lot to do with the fact that he took a page out of Bichette's book with 2 strikes. He's using his approach all the time. He has eliminated that very exaggerated leg kick, keeps that front foot on the ground, and just lets the ball travel.
Yeah. Saw the younger Bichette doing it, so he went to work on it with the older Bichette. Fastball over the inside corner, 1-2.
Of course, Teo missed 9 games. He had the problem with his oblique. He was red hot when he injured himself, and a lot of people didn't expect him back as quickly as he was able to get back.
On the appeal, he goes around, says Paul Nart. And Hernandez doesn't like it, but he strikes out to end the inning. But a back-to-back doubles give the Blue Jays a 2-0 lead. Member Rob Sagan for his continued support. Rob has been a season ticket holder for 2 years. His favorite current player just drove in a run on a double. That would be Bo Bichette. His favorite player from the past is the great Tony Fernandez. And his most memorable moment as a Blue Jay fan was sitting in the crowd for Jose Bautista's bat flip home run.
There was a lot of people in that
I know.
game.
That's been a popular one.
There must have been 100,000 people there where everybody talks about, yeah, I was there.
Yep.
I remember that. That was great.
Well, we keep doing this promotion over a couple of years, and there's a pretty good chance, Buck, there will be some new moments. Liner to short, and Bichette's there. There'll be some new moments that people start saying was their favorite Blue Jay moment.
Yeah, I was there the day Danny Jansen hit the grand slam in that 10-run inning. I was there when Ryu clinched it for the Blue Jays in 2020, and we know you weren't.
That's right. One down to the fourth. Hyun-Jin Ryu looking very sharp in the early going. Giancarlo Stanton, the batter for the Yankees. Stanton grounded out his first time up. Remember, the Yankees are playing for something, trying to get home field in the first round, even though it's a bit of a long shot right now. It wasn't a long shot when they got to Buffalo, but they've lost 2 of 3 to the Blue Jays. And the days are quickly running out here in the regular season as that borderline pitch goes the Yankees' way. The real action's over in the National League in the battle for the last 2 or 3 playoff spots. You got 5 or 6 teams battling to get in. Stanton with a fly ball to shallow left field, and coming on Gurriel, 2 down.
Boy, that's the difference in Ryu's start to this game compared to the last time he pitched against the Yankees. His fastball velocity's up. It's over 91. His cutter has been very good. He's been able to get it inside of these big right-handed hitters, and they have really pitched well so far in this ball game. He and Jansen have mixed it up pretty effectively.
Yeah, they like this combination. Charlie Montoyo's been open about that with Ryu on the mound. They want Jansen behind the plate. Obviously, by far the more experienced of the 2 catchers on the roster right now.
Well, and I can speak from experience. Ryu's not an easy guy to catch because he has such a great feel for pitching. He can make adjustments midstream. He'll read the hitters, he'll read what they're doing, and he'll make some in-game changes. That can be challenging for a younger catcher, an inexperienced catcher. We've talked about it often how Ryu pitched so well to Russ Martin when they were teammates last year in L.A. His ERA with Russell Martin catching him was about 150.
Gleyber Torres, the shortstop for the Yankees, lifted a fly ball to right field his first time up. And takes a 2-0 cutter for a strike, 2-1. Little high, ball 3.
This is that count where he can always throw that changeup and get right back into an at bat. 3-1, and he's got such good command and so much confidence in that pitch.
the changeup, but he missed. And that's the first walk surrendered by Ryu tonight. Have you seen him change his facial expression on the mound? Seriously, like once this year?
I was looking at that myself. I'm thinking, boy, he feels good about himself. He's really working quickly and throwing a lot of strikes, and he's like this every game.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any difference if he's getting hit around or he's dealing.
Yeah. If you just look at his body language, you've got no idea if they're up 5 or down 5.
Yeah, you know what, and I always talk about that. A pitcher's presentation on the mound speaks volumes to hitters. How quickly he's working, how confident he looks, how in control he is on the mound. Pitchers have presentation. When they go to the mound, there's a presence about the good ones, and Ryu's one of those guys.
Urshela with a double to left center his last time up, extending his hitting streak to 13 games. And Ryu jumps out in front 0-2.
But you know, every time he walks back to the top of that mound, he's thinking about the next pitch. Okay, he was late on that one. Does that mean I can get inside with the four-seamer or the cutter? Or should I drop a curveball in there? He hasn't seen the curveball yet. That's why it's hard for the catcher to be on the same page.
Got so many weapons.
Look at that swing.
Look at that look that Urshela gave Ryu.
That's how hot he is. He can foul off that changeup almost in the dirt.
Again, the 0-2. And another change, a weak ground ball to third. Biggio's got it. And dug out by Vladdy at the other end to retire the Yankees in the top of the 4th. Vegas and Connecticut are tied at 1 in the WNBA semifinals. And you can see Game 3 tonight at 9:30 Eastern Time on Sportsnet 360 and Sportsnet Now. Well, it is time for our favorite current game, Name That Junior J. We know it's Teoscar on the left.
This is too easy.
Yeah,
this is way too easy. Come on, we got to be challenged a little more than that.
That's funny.
I mean, he still looks like
this
that.
one? Yeah, it looks exactly the same.
That is awesome.
That is a great picture because we've all seen the picture of Vladdy with Vladdy Sr., but in the, you know, the one at the
taking
Big
his
O.
helmet off.
Right,
yeah.
but Vladdy Jr.'s a little older in that picture than he is in this cardboard cutout tonight. But that was great. My ribs are hurting a little bit. That was funny.
We got that one right away.
Yeah, if we didn't get that one, we wouldn't be invited back to play again tomorrow night. Grichuk lines it in. Another great play made by Urshela.
He's always had this great glove. And it was a big question of whether his bat was ever going to catch up to his glove. And boy, did it ever last year. Rando hits it on the line, and look at the timing of Urshela. He goes high in the air to snare another extra base hit and take it away from Grichuk this time. He did the same to VR last inning.
So here's Vladdy, who homered in his first at bat tonight. 2-0 Blue Jays, bottom 4. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Got a curveball from Montgomery and hit it 412 feet to left center field. Well, just in case you didn't believe us.
That's awesome. And he's still got a phenomenal personality. Lots of joy when he plays the game. Absolutely loves to play the game.
And again, still just 21. Change up outside, ball 2. That picture of him with Vlad Sr. at Olympic Stadium where Junior is tipping his cap is one of the great baseball pictures you're ever going to see.
Yeah, now he's following his father's footsteps for sure.
Has done his best hitting in Buffalo this year. And he hits it hard and through for a base hit into center field. 2 for 2 on the night.
Another sharply hit ground ball. Right up the middle. He's starting to feel the energy. He's starting to feel it now. And this looks like four-seam fastball out over the plate. And you can see he hit that one on the barrel. Go right up the middle into center field. And Darty starting to swing it.
And they really play him straight up on the infield. I mean, LeMahieu was way over to the right of second base, so that was a clean single into center. Here's Gurriel, who struck out his first time up.
You know, the one thing the Blue Jays have improved upon this year is hitting against left-handed pitching. Last year they were 29th in the majors in that category. This year they've moved up to 8th in the big leagues. They've done a lot of good things at the plate. They've cut down their strikeouts. They're using the whole field a little bit more. There was a time when they all felt like they had to pull the ball to hit home runs. You had to hit it to the pull side of the field. That's not the case anymore.
Yeah, we've seen all the key right-handed bats get a bunch of hits to the right side. Here's a little dribbler up the first baseline and not in time. Montgomery couldn't get himself turned around quickly enough to make a play, and everybody is safe.
That's not exactly what we were talking about, going to the opposite field. He cued it right off the end of the bat. And one thing we've seen all season long here at Sahlen Field in Buffalo, balls up the foul lines stay fair. They don't roll foul. And Gurriel surely beats that one out. So that'll be his first knock of the night. Hustling down the line, a little squibber off the end of the bat. But up both baselines, first and third base, anything that's rolling along the grass will stay fair. You got to come and get it.
So first and second with one out, and the Blue Jays already up 2-0. And here is Alejandro Kirk, who struck out at his first at bat against Montgomery. Went 4 for 4 on Monday. He's 5 for 8 in the series. And looks at a fastball in for a strike.
Yeah, he didn't want to let that go. They were going to throw him some breaking balls. He struck out on a changeup his first time up. Yankees have seen him hit fastballs.
Yeah, I think teams are going to start giving him more off-speed stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been such a short sampling, but I think Kirk may have got himself into a spot where he was overthinking it, thinking, well, they're probably going to start me off with a breaking ball. But with Kyle Higashioka behind the plate, he stole the strike with a first pitch fastball.
Kirk looking pretty relaxed in his first couple of weeks in the big leagues. Certainly looks like he's fitting in the clubhouse. Everybody loves the guy. And the fact that he hits rockets all over the ballpark hasn't hurt his cause either. He will be on the playoff roster. It's just a question of how much they use him and how they use him. And a fly ball to shallow center. Got that one off the end of the bat. 2 down.
You know, we have seen him hit breaking balls. He had a curveball from Garrett Cole on Tuesday night for a base hit to left field. And I think he got himself in trouble anticipating a breaking ball on that first pitch and let a good fastball go by.
So 2 down. It'll be Jonathan Villar, who lined out to third his first time up. Blue Jays have had some hard hit balls, a home run, a couple of doubles, and then a couple of liners to third where Urshela made plays. Different than catching. DH in tonight. He's got a lot of free time on his hands right now.
Yeah, but that catching part of it comes at you quick if you're a 21-year-old that's never caught above A ball.
Yeah.
Vladdy's got to get himself a big lead should there be a 2-out base hit here.
Down the right field line, Frazier back to make the catch, and the Blue Jays are retired 2-0 at the end of 4. Time now for a Blue Jays Central update. Here are Jamie and Joe in the Samsung studio. Fans, have your fans celebration message displayed during our home game broadcast. For a $100 donation to Jays Care Foundation, you can have your message displayed. It can be retirement, a graduation, birthday, anniversary. Visit BlueJays.com/JaysCare to find out more. 2-0 Blue Jays going to the top of the 5th, and Hyun-Jin Ryu has been great. 4 scoreless innings, 2 hits, 1 walk, and has been very efficient with his pitches as well as he faces the bottom third of the Yankee lineup to begin the 5th inning.
We've talked about how Ryu works so well to the bottom part of the order. He's been consistent with that all year long. 4 through 9, he's handled very effectively. Just mixes it up, never gives you a pattern of pitches, never throws 2 pitches in the same spot or the same speed. Truly the art of pitching. Pete Walker, the pitching coach, understands that, and he certainly has to admire what he has seen from Ryu as they have worked together for the first time this year.
One, 2. Curveball to get him. Boy, what a sequence there from Ryu.
He struck out Frazier on a cutter the first time up, and now he throws this big, slow curveball, and watch the break. I mean, that's a terrific hook at 69 miles an hour. You just can't wait long enough. Great over the hand, over the top spin, and Frazier strikes out for a second time. He's unpredictable.
Kyle Higashioka, the Yankee catcher, hit a fly ball to center his first time up. And swings and hits a ground ball up the middle. To his left is Bichette. The throw is in time. Big stretch by Vladdy for the out.
Well, Bo had a long run to his left and didn't get an awful lot on the throw as he couldn't get turned around, but he appreciates the effort of his first baseman. See how far he has to go to his left and really can't get a lot on the throw as he's still on the move. And look at the stretch by Vladdy. He did a heck of a job of stretching and getting to that baseball, all the while keeping his foot in contact with the first base bag.
So 2 down in the Yankee 5th, and the number 9 hitter Brett Gardner comes up for the second time. Gardner's 0 for 1, popped up in foul territory his first time up. I'm not sure the Blue Jays have had a starting pitcher get this many outs on this few pitches this season. I mean, he'd be the only guy who would have done it, and I don't know if he's even been this efficient this year.
15 outs on 59 pitches. $14 outs so far. He pitches to the situation so well, you know, and he knows that last time the Yankees faced him, they roughed him up. He gave up 3 home runs to New York. But he's made some great pitches so far tonight. But this is what good pitchers always do. They take care of the bottom of the order so there aren't base runners on when those great hitters come up to the plate. And the Yankees have some great hitters in the top of their order.
He's kept him off balance tonight, though. Voit hasn't had any fun. Stanton hasn't had any fun. Gardner's not particularly enjoying himself right now.
I was thinking the same thing. You look at his reaction like, what am I doing? Chase that changeup, and I know he's going to throw it to me. I mean, he's not a fun at bat. You know, there are guys that can overpower you like Garrett Cole, and they're not a whole lot of fun to face. But these guys, like Ryu, like Kyle Hendricks, like Greg Maddux, John Smoltz, those guys, I mean, they're no fun to face either.
And the curve fouled off by Gardner.
Everything is working for Ryu.
Yep.
He's one of those guys, when you make it out, you scream back at the mound, I'll get you next time. And it doesn't work the next time either.
Had a 2.32 ERA last year with the Dodgers. An even 3 coming into this game tonight. Missed outside, full count. That's about as much as you'll see kind of him collect himself out of the mound before throwing the next pitch. And just low for ball 4.
Both of his walks have come on changeups. He walked Gleyber Torres with 2 outs in the 4th, and then he got Urshela to ground out to end that inning, but now he's got to deal with DJ LeMahieu.
LeMahieu has flied out to left and had a soft base hit to right field his last time up. Just 2 hits for the Yankees through 4 2/3 against Ryu.
LeMahieu now has 36 opposite field base hits. 11 more than Victor Reyes of the Tigers. Freddie Freeman has 24. Michael Conforto of the Mets, who just went on the IL, has 23. I mean, there's a lot of good hitters that go the other way.
And they play him over there. I mean, you can see the second baseman of ER is plugging up the hole on the right side. The center fielder Grichuk's way over to right center. This is a tricky one. You know, we talk about all the little plays that a first baseman has to make and how different it is from third. Guerrero's holding a runner, and then he's got to get off the bag and get square in a hurry because LeMahieu is liable to hit a ball right down the line. A chopper to short. Big bounce for Bichette, and the side is retired. 5 scoreless innings for Hyun-Jin Ryu. Join Olympic champion Tessa Virtue as she hosts the Motion Ball Marathon of Sport in support of the Special Olympics Canada Foundation. Tune in Saturday at 1 Eastern, 10 in the morning Pacific Time on Sportsnet 1 and Sportsnet Now. Danny Jansen leading off the bottom of the 5th. Dan Shulman, Buck Martinez, Hazel May. Blue Jays 2, Yankees nothing on a night where if the Blue Jays win, they clinch a playoff spot and would head to the postseason for the first time since 2016 and for the 8th time in franchise history. Did it for the first time, of course, in 1985. Did it again in '89. Then did it 3 years in a row in '91, '92, '93, winning the World Series in those latter 2 years. And then the long drought until 2015 and 2016.
John Gibbons managed those last 2 playoff appearances. Of course, Cito Gaston had 4 playoff appearances. Bobby Cox had the first one in 1985. Charlie Montoyo hoping to join those managers in the books. He has not once talked about the playoffs. He said, we'll just play tonight, and when we see where we're at, we'll enjoy that.
Jansen reaches for one, pokes it down the line, and it drops in foul territory. Frazier couldn't get there. And I think coming into the season, you know, when you found out the playoff system was being expanded from 5 to 8, right away, clearly, the Blue Jays were in a much better situation. And you thought they'd be in a battle for it, but then some teams like the Angels and Rangers, Red Sox did not have good years. The American League really kind of a league of haves and have-nots. Not much of a middle class this year. At times it's felt like the Blue Jays were kind of the only team in the middle class as Jansen strikes out, but they persevered through injuries and a tough start, and then the 6-game losing streak late. And you know what? Your record, you are what your record says you are, and their record's pretty good this year.
2 games over 500 coming into this game, 29 and 27. And when you look at the way they have played, they're 6-1 against Baltimore, and they'll finish up with the Orioles the final 3 games of this season. Red Sox have had a down year, but they played the Blue Jays tough. They've split the 10 games they played this year. Tampa Bay, they played them early in the season, first series of the year, and the Blue Jays lost 6 of 10 to Tampa Bay. But they had some great games.
And we have briefly a Rowdy Tellez sighting in the dugout. Rowdy is trying to get back for the playoffs, and is it tomorrow that he will take BP in the cages?
I think he took BP in the cages today, yeah, against the coaches, and it's a tough loss. Rowdy was red hot when he hurt his knee. 8 home runs, 23 ribbies. He is hitting .283. But he really turned the corner as a hitter, I think. He really became the power hitter everybody anticipated he would be. And unfortunately, he went down the right field line in pursuit of a foul pop-up and made an awkward step and had a knee injury, and he's not made it back yet, but he's hopeful of getting back.
And Biggio down on strikes for the 2nd time tonight.
Montgomery has 7 strikeouts now, and this is an interesting pitch, and we talk about this pitch all the time, Dan. Lefty changeup.
Yep.
And when you got a good changeup, I don't understand why lefties are reluctant to throw at the left-handed batters, because it's a good pitch. When you have a good pitch, why not use it to both lefties and righties?
Bichette reaches for one and hits a bouncer to third. Urshela with a good play. And we're through 5 in Buffalo with the Blue Jays leading 2-0.
Buck and Dan talk about how Ryu's facial expression and demeanor doesn't change on the mound regardless of what's going on. Well, former Dodgers and now Blue Jays teammate Ross Stripling told me Ryu is very regimented, and a lot of that he likely learned from Clayton Kershaw. Ryu still scouts and prepares the way he always does, regardless of how his starts have gone. He doesn't waver. His attitude is consistent. He's the same guy in the clubhouse, and that temperament is particularly helpful when you get into these tense situations and just happen to be playing in October. Dan.
Hazel, thank you. Absolutely. There are a lot of pitchers of all ages on this team who can learn a lot in a lot of different areas from Hyun-Jin Ryu. And how about a tip of the cap to Ross Stripling last night? Although it was a blowout game, he ate up 4 innings at the end of the game and got the, some of the key late inning leverage guys another night off, and every night off for those guys who have been worked pretty hard this year can only serve to help the Blue Jays going forward.
Boy, it was a terrific effort, the longest relief outing for the Blue Jays this season. He picked up his first save of the season. He has been back and forth. It was a great job. He used his pitches very effectively, and a terrific job of mixing his pitches and really neutralize that potent Yankee lineup.
And everybody likes to play guess who's on the playoff roster. I think the fact that he pitched as well as he did last night and that he's got experience in his career coming out of the bullpen, I think there's a spot for him on the playoff roster.
I agree with you. Yeah, I think that's the case, and he's versatile. He can give you those multiple innings out of the pen, and nobody anticipates your starter's going to get knocked out early, but should that happen, then you've got a guy like Stripling who can come in and give you 3 or 4 innings.
Voit has grounded out twice tonight. Ryu at just 70 pitches as he works here in the 6th inning.
Now, you got to be thinking as a hitter, he threw that fastball up and in. He's probably going to throw me a changeup, but I'd come right back inside again with a cutter or a fastball. And he threw him a cutter. And Ryu, he really pays attention to what a hitter is doing. He reads bats very well. And he threw that fastball up and in, and the natural reaction from a hitter is, okay, now he's going to go down and away with a changeup. But he came back with a cutter and got a foul.
He's gone to his curveball a few times tonight on 2 strike counts. Let's see what he thinks here with Voit. There it is, and Voit looked like he was waiting on it and lines it into left, a base hit.
Yeah, Voit was paying attention to what you said. A couple times he got to 2 strikes. He looped that big curveball in there, but he was all over it. He comes up with his first hit of the night. There's that spin. That 12-6 curveball, and it's a good one. It's down, but with 2 strikes, Voigt's got enough time to recognize and stay back and puts it in play to left.
First time the Yankees have had the leadoff man on in the game against Ryu tonight. 2-0 Blue Jays, top of the 6th, and the batter was Aaron Hicks, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a lineout.
The Blue Jays all season long have used that philosophy of not letting their starters pitch 3rd time through the order, but Ryu is allowed to do it, and Taijuan Walker is allowed to do it as well. So they're still comfortable with him here in the 6th inning, facing the lineup for a 3rd time.
Change up and a broken bat, base hit through the right side. Well, he didn't hit it hard at all. Another good pitch. Ryu's made 2 good pitches that have gone for base hits here in the 6th inning.
Yeah, he really hasn't given up much hard contact. Even the Urshela double was kind of splitting the outfield, as you see how that's off the end of the bat and just shatters the bat. But it sneaks through the right side of the infield. The first 2 reach here in the 6th.
And now a couple of men aboard for Giancarlo Stanton, who's 0 for 2. And a fastball in there, 0-1. No Aaron Judge in the lineup today. Aaron Boone said that Aaron Judge will probably play all 3 games against the Marlins to wrap up the regular season. Now that may change if the Yankees get to the last day of the season and they're totally locked into their spot. They're still playing for something right now. He didn't like it. It's 0-2. And by the way, a lot of things would have to happen, but the Blue Jays could still catch the Yankees. Basically, the Blue Jays would have to win out and the Yankees would have to lose at least 2 out of 3 to Miami. So it's a long shot. And again, big picture, the Blue Jays just want to win tonight and get in. But the Orioles aren't playing well right now. They're not playing for anything. And if you got a chance to improve your seeding, you got to go for it within reason.
For sure. I mean, they're not going to really burn out their bullpen once that situation is secure.
You know, Sunday looks like it could be a Tanner Roark, Chase Anderson kind of day based on what we saw on Tuesday.
Obviously, this is a pivotal point of the ball game, and Ryu and Jansen want to make sure they're on the same page, working to Stanton.
And he got him a cutter way inside, and Stanton went around.
Stanton struck out 3 times in the game last night, and that's a big strikeout for Ryu, first out of the inning. And look at the movement on that cutter. 88 miles an hour. It starts on the plate, and there you can see that cut action. The rotation takes it down and in, and Stanton with a big strikeout. It's the 4th of the ball game for Ryu, but it's very timely here in the 6th.
Now Gleyber Torres, who has flied out and walked. Voit and Hicks aboard for the Yankees. And a right at the knees, 0-1. Torres hasn't had the kind of year that he had last year. He's dealt with some injuries this year. He had 38 home runs last year.
Notice he's not wearing the glasses tonight.
And we talked about how he wears contacts to help him see better. The glasses are just like a superstitious thing. They don't have any prescription in them, but you're right, he doesn't have them on. Right center field, who wants it? It'll be Teoscar making the catch, 2 down, and the runner is going to tag and come to third. Boyd into third with 2 down. And now Gio Urshela, who has doubled and grounded out. And with as hot as Urshela is and a couple of men on base, there's going to be a meeting on the mound right now. Ryu, Bichette, and Jansen.
And everybody's on the same page now. Bichette will return to shortstop, aware of how they're going to go after Urshela. You know, if they're going to throw him soft, he's going to lean to his right. Chances are the ball will be pulled, playing basically straight away. Slightly opposite in the outfield, which takes a few strides to the right side of second.
Up and away, ball 1. This guy didn't hit much with Cleveland, didn't hit much at all with the Blue Jays, but the Yankees unlock something, and we've seen it. Different guys go to different teams, and somebody gives them a new tip or just presents information in a different way, and something clicks, and it has really clicked for him in the Bronx.
He's looking off speed there and fouls one into the Yankees dugout. The Yankees have not homered in the last 3 games. And the Blue Jays have pitched him very well in this series. Looks to me like Urshela's looking soft in this at bat, when he found that last pitch off.
Jansen wants a fastball up. Ryu wants that too. 1-2.
Yeah, and now you got to read what he's doing here. He's been late on a couple of fastballs. He threw the first fastball up and away and then got a couple inside, and it looks to me like Urshela's sitting soft.
Runners on the corners, 2 down here in the 6th inning. And the 1-2. One of the backdoor cutter, but he missed outside. And we saw Jansen. He went fastball, changeup, curveball, and then got to the cutter. That was the one that Ryu wanted. Easier to tell when there's no runner at second. The signs are simpler. The whole thing happens a lot quicker. Frazier hoping for a shot this inning. Cutter up and in, and he fouls it off.
Yeah, man, Ryu has thrown changeups just out of everybody in this lineup except this at bat right here to Urshela. Urshela hit a 4-seam fastball in the 2nd inning for a double, but Ryu has a feeling that he might be looking for something off speed. Quite a battle.
Here comes the changeup. And it's a good one, and a weak ground ball to second. And what a job by Ryu. The first 2 men reach, and the Yankees do not score. Hernandez has had a great season for the Blue Jays, hitting around 300 on OPS up around 950 right now. Is he as good as Aaron Judge? He's a year younger, and this season he has better numbers. Now Judge has been hampered by injuries, but when he's in there he's been pretty effective. But point being is that And I don't know how many folks outside Toronto know this, or outside Canada know this, that Teoscar Hernandez has been about as good as any power hitter in baseball this year.
Yeah, he sure has, and he has really kind of had a turnaround in his entire career. Coming into this season, he played 327 career games and had a .237 career average. And this year, everything's starting to click, working with Guillermo Martinez and Dante Bichette as the two hitting coaches. He has really bought into their philosophy, and it's served him well. We have compared him many times to Jose Bautista and how Bautista's career took off in 2010 in his age 29 season. This is Teoscar's age 27 season, and things have clicked for him.
A fly out and a strikeout tonight. And chases that high fastball, 1-2. Adam Ottavino is now getting up in the Yankee bullpen. And he got him with a good changeup down and away. That's strikeout number 8 for Montgomery.
Montgomery gave up a home run to Guerrero in the second. And Bo Bichette had an RBI double. He has really pitched well here tonight. Only thing that's hurting him is Hyun-Jin Ryu's pitched better.
Now Randall Grichuk 0 for 2. Hit a screaming liner to third his last time up. A great play made by Gio Urshela. You made the point to me before the game. You know, go look at what Grichuk did with the Cardinals. He's played in 3 playoff series as a member of the Cardinals.
13 postseason games, and he played in 2014 and 2015. And he actually hit a home run in each of those series he played in. Hit a home run against the Dodgers and Clayton Kershaw in his first postseason experience. So we always talk about Joe Panik. Well, Panik's been with the Giants. Panik's played in the World Series. Well, Randall's been in the postseason before as well, as has Hyun-Jin Ryu, of course. But there's a whole lot of kids experiencing this for the first time.
Well, Buck, we're going to see something tonight we haven't seen all season. We're going to see a Blue Jays starting pitcher pitch into the 7th inning tonight.
Not one pitch thrown by a starter in the 7th inning all season long. It's been a while since they've had anybody pitch in the 7th.
The last time it happened was last August as Grichuk bounces one up the middle. Jacob Waguespack had 7 great innings against the Dodgers out in L.A.
Yeah, a lot of it revolves around pitch count, as the Blue Jays starters had a lot of trouble early in ball games, and that looks like it's going to be it for Montgomery as Randall Grichuk takes one right back up the middle. Randall's first hit, and Aaron Boone is making a pitching change.
Ottavino on his way in.
Tonight, and back in his first at bat in the 2nd inning against Jordan Montgomery, he goes deep. StatCast AI is powered by Google Cloud. Second longest home run this season for Vladdy, 412 feet. They got the Blue Jays off and running. Their first of 2 runs they've scored tonight against New York. And for Vladdy, that's his 8th home run of the season. And he's 2 for 2, and he'll deal with a new pitcher.
This pitching change is brought to you by PokerStars.net, the home of poker. 52 cards, I'm in, 18 plus. Please play responsibly, free play only website. Right-hander Adam Ottavino making his 23rd appearance of the season. The Blue Jays saw him a couple of nights ago in the Garrett Cole game. He worked a perfect 9th inning and struck out a couple of batters. Did not face Guerrero in that game.
Guerrero asked for time, and it was granted. Ottavino in this series pitching for a third time. He's pitched in Monday night's game, pitched Tuesday night, but he's thrown more fastballs than he normally does to the Blue Jays. Word is out that the Blue Jays are a pretty good breaking ball hitting club. Ottavino's got a very good slider, but he threw more fastballs in his first 2 appearances.
So So he's having a better run in Buffalo this time than he did a couple of weeks ago. He was part of that infamous 10-run inning. Chad Green gave up 5. Ottavino gave up 5. And it was after the game that Ottavino said, you know, it's a little bit dark here. And it's catcher, I couldn't see the catcher signs very well. And he said, I'm not, you know, necessarily implying anything, but it's kind of odd that Chad Green and I, neither one of us got a swing and a miss at all. We both get lots of swings and misses generally.
58 pitches they threw in that inning and not one swing and a miss.
Facing a guy who's had a good night. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., in addition to the home run you just saw, has also had a base hit to center. And a slider sent just foul up the right side. That's a tricky one for the first baseman too. You're holding the runner, you bounce off the bag into fair territory, and then the guy hits it to your left, and you got a reverse course.
Yeah, that's tough when you bounce off, want to get a good fielding position, and watch Luke Voigt. Now he has to reach back over, and it's beyond his reach, and it was foul. They're awfully concerned with Randall Grichuk at first base. Grichuk just 1 for 2 in stolen bases this season.
Good take there on a slider down low, a ball and a strike.
Guerrero has 6 official at bats against Ottavino. He's seen him a little bit. He's 2 for 6. That was pretty interesting. Boy, looked at the umpire, because when Grichuk got up, he took his hand off the base, and there was a split second there where he didn't have contact with his foot.
Inside with a slider, 2-1. Evan Biggio and Bo Bichette with back-to-back doubles back in the third, scoring the second run of the night for the Blue Jays.
You know, Ottavino, those other 2 appearances he's made in this series, it was kind of a lopsided game in either direction. So he was throwing more fastballs, not wanting to really tip his hand. He's throwing his typical slider in this appearance.
And he left one over the middle of the plate, and it's lined into left for a base hit. Grichuk will stop at second, and Vladdy is 3 for 3.
Oh, he waited back on that slider really well. He hit it right on the button. Well, he's swinging it. He had a 3 for 3 game Monday night. This is another slider. He stays on it and hits it on the line.
So good night for Guerrero. 2 on with a 1 out, and now the batter will be Lourdes Gurriel Jr. 1 for 2. Had an infield hit his last time up. And a fastball at 95 is in there for a strike.
This is an interesting situation here. Alejandro Kirk is the next batter. Blue Jays have Joe Panik and Travis Shaw on the bench. And it'll be interesting to see if either Panik or Shaw come up here. Kirk's still on the on-deck circle, but I got to believe those 2 lefties are swinging bats down underneath in the cage.
Buck, the 3 hits that Vladimir Guerrero has tonight have come off the bat at 104.7, 105.3, and 113.9. That's what that last base hit was.
Yeah, and you know what? He's been consistent with that, and everybody says, well, he needs to get it in the air more. I tell you what, he hits hard ground balls and hard line drives, and he's going to learn how to hit home runs.
Gurriel tried to check his swing and succeeded.
Yeah, Ottavino's gone back to his regular plan of attack, using that slider very effectively. Gurriel's been a clutch hitter for the Blue Jays all season long. He's had a great second half of this season.
Blue Jays looking to extend their lead, give Hyun-Jin Ryu a little bit more of a cushion. It's 2-0 right now. A long look back at Grichuk. Wow, a long look back at Grichuk.
Yeah, Ottavino was concerned with Grichuk at first base, and now he's got his eye on him at second. Randall never has run much with the Blue Jays, and we mentioned he's had 2 steal attempts, but they've got him on their mind.
Gurriel almost falls down in the aftermath of that swing as he pops it out of play.
Boy, he was sitting on that breaking ball too. It was a tough one in a good spot, and he's able to foul it off and stay alive.
Ottavino's kind of like a Sergio Romo, but he throws a lot harder. Romo to the righties feels like he's 80 to 90% sliders. Every now and again he'll sneak a fastball in on you when you're looking for the slider. Of course, with Ottavino, the fastball is 95. That's a whole different story. One-two, and there's the fastball, and he couldn't pull the trigger.
97 and a well-timed fastball. He mixed it up and threw a great pitch to Gurriel. He really delivers this fastball. It's 97 right at the bottom of the zone, and there's nothing Gurriel could do with it.
So 2 down, and now it'll be Kirk, and what a good test this is for Alejandro Kirk. He has struck out and flied out tonight.
Obviously, Montoya is comfortable with the Blue Jays having a 2-0 lead and give him another opportunity.
Buckles a bit on that slider. 0-1.
Yeah, he's going to have to hit a slider.
And he does hit a slider down the left field line and into the corner. Grichuk's going to come in to score. Guerrero's rounding third, heading home, and is safe at the plate as Kirk doubles home a couple of runs.
And the legend continues to grow. How about that? Alejandro Kirk got a hanging slider and hammers it down the left field line. 2 big runs for the Blue Jays, and now lead 4-0. Ottavino throws that slider and stays on the inside part of the plate. Look at that level swing. 21-year-old Alejandro Kirk drives in 2 more runs. Well inside the foul line down the left field line. Vladdy Guerrero chugging all the way around the bases, scores with a head-first slide, beats the throw, swipes his hand across home, and the Blue Jays lead it 4-0.
A big 2-run double with 2 down in the 6th for Kirk. And now Jonathan Villar with a base hit in the left field. Kirk is going to stop at third. Kirk is now 6 for 10 in the series against the Yankees, including 3 extra base hits.
Well, I think we've just found our answer. Louis Rivera with a big hug for the youngster. If the Blue Jays play Tampa Bay and Blake Snell starts, Kirk's going to be the DH.
Yeah, the lineup we see tonight is going to be the lineup in game 1. Then you figure out game 2. See what happens in game 1 and then decide. You got options. It's just another piece of the puzzle that allows them to consider different things. He came from A-ball. And he didn't even play in games, obviously, this summer. He was at the alternate site in Rochester for a month and a half. But every player, coach you talk to, it's always the same. Who's that little guy? Oh, trust me, he hits rockets. Come on. Yeah, he hits rockets.
They know who he is now. And he does square up the ball. I mean, consistently hits the ball hard.
Hit 290 last year between Lansing and Dunedin. Walked more than he struck out.
Ottavino made a great pitch to strike out Gurriel and then got ahead of Kirk with a slider and then hung one. And Alejandro hammered it. His second big league double. Now he has 3 RBIs on the season.
And Ottavino, who had a couple of good outings against the Blue Jays earlier in the series, not so much tonight. He has faced 4 batters and given up a hit to 3 of them here in the 6th inning. Jansen got a slider over the heart of the plate and fouled it off.
You really have to admire what these Blue Jays have done against New York after taking that beating in Yankee Stadium. Gave up 19 home runs in 3 games in Yankee Stadium. Gave up runs at a record pace, and they have played them toe-to-toe here in Buffalo.
And down to second without a throw goes VR. They'll give him a stolen base. And I don't know if they thought that there was no point in throwing, that they didn't have a chance to get him, or if the plan, it looked like he was never going to throw. I don't think there was any chance that Kirk was going to come home if they threw down to second, but the Yankees conceded the base.
No, and they didn't cover. And they were not leaving their defensive positions with 2 outs, so they just conceded that stolen base.
Didn't want to open up a hole for Danny Jansen. 1-2 the count. And a swing and a miss to end the inning. But what an inning it is. And Alejandro Kirk's in the middle of it again. Set for game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern Time. And then it's the Lightning and the Stars. Tampa Bay up 2-1. Game 4 tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern on Sportsnet and CBC. Lots of reasons to smile, whether you were here in person or a fan cutout. It's been a good night for the Blue Jays. They are up 4-0 going to the 7th, and a win tonight clinches a playoff spot.
It's one of the few times we've seen Clint Frazier without a mask.
Yeah, you're right. And it's also, again, if you weren't with us last half inning when we mentioned it, it is the first time this season that a Blue Jay starting pitcher has pitched into the 7th inning. No surprise that it's Hyun-Jin Ryu.
Nope. When the Blue Jays addressed their needs in the offseason, starting pitching was front and center. And they landed a good one.
(3-0). Just 88 pitches right now. Nobody up in the Blue Jays bullpen.
99 pitches, the most he's thrown in an outing this year.
And a 3-0 strike, 3-1.
The Blue Jays are in pretty good shape down in their bullpen tonight. They should have Patrick Murphy available. They should have Rafael Dolis available, and they should have Anthony Bass available. Those are their leverage guys that they will use in these types of games.
A liner to center, a base hit. And somebody's going to get up, it looks like.
Well, last night, Charlie Montoyo made a very good call when he went to A.J. Cole in the 5th inning with 2 on, and Cole did a masterful job of getting out of that inning.
And he's going to go to another high leverage guy in the 7th inning if he needs him, because they're just 2 batters away from the top of the order. And we've seen this consistently, especially in the second half of the season. The situation in terms of who's coming up, men on base, score, all matter more than what inning it is. And that's, clearly the right way to do it. Cole in the 5th inning last night, and possibly Bass in the 7th inning here tonight. Change up there, 1-1.
Yeah, last night Clint Frazier was hitting 9th. He walked against Robbie Ray to start the inning. LeMahieu singled. That's when Montoya went to Cole. Cole walked the first batter, Aaron Judge, to load the bases. Then he retired Stanton, Voit, and Torres to strand the bases loaded.
Five hits now for the Yankees on the night. The Blue Jays up 4-0. And back to the changeup again as he missed outside. Ball 2. Fouled off by Higashioka, 2-2.
Yeah, the Blue Jays don't take Higashioka lightly. He had a 3-homer game against them at Yankee Stadium the last time the Blue Jays were there. He's got 4 home runs on the season. 3 of them came in 1 game.
And this one is popped up into shallow right down the line. And Teoscar there right near the bullpen mound for the first out.
Jansen's done this a couple of times tonight in pivotal at-bats where he goes to the mound to make sure that he and Ryu are on the same page. Bichette comes in to take part in the conference.
Could be last batter, right? Gardner left-handed batter up, then top of the order. Bass getting ready in the bullpen.
That's a good call.
Everybody likes to play armchair manager.
Actually, they're going to send a pinch hitter up here, and a big one.
Ooh,
a big pinch hitter.
A very large pinch hitter.
That's what the meeting was all about. We saw that it was Gardner's spot, and Judge did not start, so he comes up to hit in this situation.
And Ryu will stay. Bass continues to throw in the bullpen. 4-0 Blue Jays in the 7th. And a little bit inside. Boy, that's a good looking pitch. And
Ryu hesitated.
Yeah.
He expected it to be a strike, and I don't blame him.
Missed with a change, down and away, ball 2.
Judge did not play in the game on September 7th against Ryu, but he played against him last year and is 2 for 3 with a home run.
And a fly ball to shallow right center field. Hernandez is there, and Judge is retired for the second out.
Boy, he made another good pitch. This is one of the toughest lineups in baseball. And Ryu has held them to no runs on 5 hits. The Yankees this year have not hit at all against lefty pitching. As a team, they've hit .229. That's the 24th batting average in the majors.
It's funny with all the right-handed batters, right?
Yeah. Well, you know why? They're always trying to hit the ball out to right field, and that left-handed breaking ball and fastball jam them.
LeMahieu 1 for 3 on the night. And a strike, 0-1. What a job by Hyun-Jin Ryu this season and tonight, trying to get LeMahieu, likely his last batter one way or another, try to finish 7 innings and try to inch the Blue Jays closer to clinching a playoff spot. Change up, popped up, shallow right. Teoscar is there, and Ryu and the Blue Jays are through 7, leading 4-0. As good a pitching performance as the Blue Jays have had all season. 7 scoreless innings for Hyun-Jin Ryu, exactly 100 pitches, 3 big outs with a man on in the 7th inning, and high fives all the way around in the third base dugout.
Boy, he has been a perfect fit for this ball club, and he and Vladdy having a good moment down there in the dugout. He said, yeah, you hit home runs, I throw shutouts. We're all good. He had a nice job. He and Danny Jansen have had their moments, and look at the smile. That's a lot of emotion, and you can see he appreciates the job Danny Jansen gave him tonight behind the plate. First time a Blue Jay pitcher has pitched 7 innings, and the first time they've thrown 100 pitches.
Chad Green in to pitch for the Yankees in the bottom of the 7th. The Blue Jays up 4-0. Clint Frazier has moved from right to left field after Aaron Judge came in to pinch hit for Brett Gardner, and Judge stays in the game in right field. And Cavan Biggio is the batter, 1 for 3 with a double sandwiched between a couple of strikeouts. Well, that's a sharp breaking ball, and he went around on the appeal. 1-2.
Danny Jansen looking at the scouting report for Anthony Bass, who is probably going to come into this game.
In and out of the mid of Higashioka. So Biggio's still alive. Danny Jansen's got to feel really good about his part in how well things went for Ryu tonight.
Absolutely. He has really worked hard to get on the same page with Hyun-Jin Ryu, a much more experienced pitcher. This is his 8th season in the majors, and Danny should be very proud of what he did tonight.
Well, it wasn't that long ago they were in the midst of a 6-game losing streak and really struggling. Got blown out in the Bronx, lost the first 3 in Philadelphia, and if they win tonight, it'll be 4 wins in their last 5 games and feeling much better about themselves.
Well, isn't it amazing? And we've said this all season long. This young team just forgets losses. They come to the park every day expecting to win, and they compete. They're entertaining, they're energetic, they've got a lot of belief in themselves. And Alejandro Kirk, how about that base hit he got? A 2-run double.
Biggio with a fly ball to center. 1 down. Now they got him to pitch well in big games, and he delivered tonight.
Boy, did he ever. A timely outing for Ryu. First time he's thrown 100 pitches this season. First time he's pitched in the 7th inning. 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, and he was masterful, shutting out the Yankees through 7 innings.
Bo Bichette's 1 for 3 and an RBI double back in the 3rd inning, and a huge cut at the first pitch fastball as he fouls it off. 0-1.
That double for Bichette, his 27th double in his 73rd game.
Jump throw there from Torres, and they'll get him. Bichette's out by a half step for the second out. Voit went tumbling over the bag, and looks like he's okay. 2 down.
Well, Blue Jays are asking the video room, and they want to look at it. They're going to have a look at that. Torres from deep in the hole at shortstop jumps and throws it over the top of Urshela. And Voit, with his big stretch, loses his balance, and now they're going to check, I'm sure, to see if he had contact with the first base bag. Watch how he stretches. Does his foot come off the base? Pretty close. Hard to tell from that angle.
Yeah, the ball beat Bo to the bag. Ball was in the glove before the foot was on the base. So it's just a question of whether or not his foot lost contact.
Didn't take him long for that one. Call is upheld on the field. Charlie's saying, what are you guys telling me? Torres made a nice throw. Voit made a good stretch. Remember, the Blue Jays and the Yankees, each team that plays in Sahlen Field this year gets 2 challenges. Everywhere else, it's just 1.
2 down for Teoscar Hernandez. 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts tonight. Anthony Bass will come on to work the 8th inning for the Blue Jays. We believe that Rafael Dolis is okay, that his knee has calmed down enough that he can get back on the mound. It's been a few days. So could see him in the 9th inning. I would think if they can win this game, it would be a pretty good celebration. They've been through a lot over the last 2.5 months and have become very close with one another, and they've had a little bit of an us against the world, a little bit of a why not us. They've had a little bit of both of those going on, and I think they'll let loose pretty good if they win this game.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dan. I think, you know, when they regrouped in summer camp at Rogers Center, there was the thought that maybe they could play their games in Toronto at Rogers Center, but that was ruled out. Then they were hopeful of playing maybe in Pittsburgh, maybe in Baltimore. Neither of those options worked out, and they embraced Buffalo. And to their credit, the front office went to work and branded Sahlen Field Blue Jays, and they did a heck of a job.
3-2.
Everywhere you look around this AAA ballpark, they have painted Blue Jays emblems on the elevators, in the locker rooms. They repainted the locker rooms. They just did everything they could to make the Blue Jays feel at home. And they have embraced it as their home ballpark. And with the win tonight, they'll improve to 15-8 in Buffalo.
Just missed, and Hernandez will take a walk.
Tap into savings during Home Hardware's Kitchen and Bath Sale. On now until October 14th. Only at Home Hardware and Building Centers. Here's how.
The Blue Jays will say goodbye to Buffalo at the end of the weekend. There is no possibility of the Blue Jays finishing in the top 4 and hosting games in Buffalo. The top 4 seeds host the first round, the 2 out of 3, before everybody gets into a bubble of sorts, whether it's in Arlington, Houston, San Diego, or LA. Strike at the knees to Grichuk 0-1. So the Blue Jays, with a win, would clinch a playoff spot, and they would be going on the road somewhere. And for those who may not have heard, the 2 out of 3 is all in the ballpark of the higher seed this year. And for American League teams, those games would be Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday if necessary. Runner is going. And the throw down and a stolen base for Teoscar Hernandez, who's now 6 for 7.
They talked about how the Blue Jays have been so good at picking their spots. They're among the best at stolen base percentage. Teoscar gets a great jump. The throw is wide of the mark at second, and he picks up the stolen base. Another runner in scoring position.
One ball, one strike on Grichuk. Randall had a base hit and scored his last time up. Anthony Bass ready to roll in the 8th inning.
A.J. Cole sitting behind him. He had that terrific inning of work last night, stranding the bases loaded in the 5th. You know, that's another thing that has been a real bright spot for this team this year, the depth of the bullpen. They went to a tough stretch in September, but boy, oh boy, did they pitch great most of the season.
Well, then their number one guy in Ken Giles at the beginning of the season out basically the whole year, and then Jordan Romano, you know, another one of their top leverage guys. He's missed about half the season. Little chopper. This is going to be tricky. And they're not going to have a play anywhere. It'll be an infield hit for Grichuk. Teoscar to third.
Everything's breaking right for the Blue Jays in this ball game. Randall picks up his second hit. Michelle, I don't think he was going to have a play had he come up with it cleanly. And how about Vladdy Guerrero having another opportunity to drive in some runs? Solo home run in the 2nd. Single in the 4th. Single and scored in the 6th.
Got his average up to 264 all of a sudden. He was at 237 when this series began. He went 3 for 3 with a walk in the first game, went 1 for 3 in the second game, went 2 for 5 last night. Now he's 3 for 3 tonight. He's got 9 hits in the series.
Yeah, and he's quietly gotten hot. And we haven't really said, oh man, he's on fire, but he is. He hasn't had a 4-hit game this season. He hasn't had a 4-hit game in his career. This is his 15th 3-hit game.
Swing and a miss at 96. It's 0-1. The kind of night he's had, he's going to wear that GoPro for batting practice tomorrow. And not that ball players are superstitious or anything. Got jammed a bit and hits a fly ball to center. Hicks is there, and the Blue Jays are retired. On to the 8th. Games to help us find our ace cutout for your chance to win a grand prize of a Blue Jays merchandise package and autographed items for you and your family. You'll get a contest entry for every game you find them, so the more you play, the better your chances are. Visit BlueJays.com/misplaced and tell us where you saw Ace during tonight's broadcast for your chance to win. He's out there somewhere. And so is he. Anthony Bass is into the game in the 8th inning.
Anthony picked up his 6th save of the season on Sunday in the final game of that Phillies series. He entered the game in the 8th inning through 1 pitch and got the pinch hitter Jay Bruce out, and then he finished up the 9th, the 1-2-3 9th. He retired all 4 he faced through 14 pitches, so he is well rested.
Luke Voigt leads it off for the Yankees, swings at the first pitch and sends a routine fly ball to center. 1 down, and the Blue Jays are now 5 outs away from clinching a playoff spot.
Well, the Blue Jays have done a good job of getting that first batter out. The first 5 innings, they retired the first batter. Then Voit had a single in the 6th. Frazier had a single in the 7th, but they were both stranded on base.
One down for Aaron Hicks. A little bit low for ball 1. Hicks tonight 1 for 3, just 5 hits for the Yankees. 1 double and 4 singles.
The Yankees will finish up their season at home and play the Miami Marlins. And Miami is still battling for their postseason berth. The Marlins will send Sandy Alcantara to the mound on Friday, Trevor Rogers on Saturday, and Jose Urena on Sunday. Wilgus Chapman loosening up for the Yanks. He hasn't pitched in this series.
Yeah, the one win the Yankees had was a blowout. All 3 games were blowouts before this game tonight. Just low, 2 balls and a strike.
The Yankees scheduled starters for that Miami series: Jay Happ on Friday, Davy Garcia on Saturday, and Garrett Cole on Sunday if needed. I doubt if they would pitch him. They're already into the postseason.
Fastball there, 2-2.
Anthony's been a great story for the Blue Jays. Of course, early in the season, Giles was the closer that first series, and then he went down with an injury, and as Dan mentioned, missed most of the season. Anthony was pitching in the 7th and 8th inning. And then he moved into that closer's role, and he's been very effective. He's got a career high 6 saves this year.
And he's taken the ball whenever they've asked him to, whatever the situation is. A couple of times he stepped up and, pitched on a day when nobody else could, and they needed a couple of outs. Fouled back. And there hasn't been one hint, at least publicly, of anybody saying, well, I thought I was the 9th inning guy, or I want to be the setup guy. It's whenever they've been asked to take the ball, whatever the situation has been, they've taken the ball.
Yeah, and I think it gets back to the time they spent together in summer camp. They were all quarantined at Rogers Center. They had nothing to do but get to know each other, become a great team. The chemistry is phenomenal on this team.
And he lost him.
The Fan Frenzy Contest presented by TD is happening this weekend with tons of prizes available. Visit BlueJays.com/Fan Frenzy Contest to enter.
8th inning in Buffalo. Boy, what a pretty shot that is. Blue Jays up 4-0 on the Yankees.
No matter how many times you've seen that Niagara Falls, it's spectacular.
1 on, 1 out for Giancarlo Stanton. Chased a good slider, 0-1. Wouldn't go after that one. A ball and a strike.
Stanton is 1 for 12 in this series. 0 for 3 tonight with a strikeout.
Down low, ball 2. And now 3 balls and a strike. Can't relax yet. Still 5 outs away. And back-to-back walks. There's nothing more exciting than September baseball. The MLB app is the place to get all your baseball action. In-game video highlights, live pitch-by-pitch, breaking news, player updates, stat leaderboard standings, and much more. Download the MLB app today, the #1 app for live baseball.
Pete Walker out to talk to Anthony Bass, trying to coax him back into the strike zone. The one thing we said about the Yankees, you don't want to walk them. You don't want to put guys on base. And after the first out, Luke Voigt flied out to center, and then back-to-back walks. Now Anthony Dolis starting to loosen up. Rafael Dolis. He's been battling a knee injury, but he's been working on it, and he's ready to go here tonight.
Gleyber Torres will be the batter. And a little bit low. Bass wanted that call but didn't get it. And a ground ball to the right side. Guerrero will force the lead runner, throw to first, but not in time. Not the lead runner, the middle runner. Now Bass is pointing in to say, have a look at that. He thinks they may have turned two. Well, there's a play where Vladdy ranged far to his right. They're going to let it go. And it made a good play to make sure they got one out at second base.
Yeah, he made a heck of a play. And the one thing he does very well, he throws the ball very well. Accurate with his arm. He flips it to Bo at second for the out, and the return throw not in time as Torres beats the return throw. He's easily across the bag. But now there are 2 outs.
So first and third, 2 down for Gio Urshela. 7 great innings tonight for Hyun-Jin Ryu. Bass has walked a couple here in the 8th, but hoping to put out the fire. And strike one.
Well, he's got that running fastball that started off the plate outside, and you know, we mentioned he has not pitched since Sunday, and he's well rested. He's got 97-mile-an-hour fastball tonight.
And all of a sudden you look around, and well, Dolis, because of the knee, hasn't pitched in a while. Baraki has not pitched a whole lot lately. Here's a ground ball to the right side, diving stop. VR back to his feet, and the high throw is backed up by Bass. A run will come in to score on the play, and the Yankees are still going. It's 4-1.
That'll be an infield hit for Urshela, his second hit of the game.
As you said, when you're hot, you're hot. Even when he doesn't hit the ball hard, he hits it somewhere they can't make a play on him.
Boy, VR did everything he could. And look at Anthony Bass. Boy, he's backing up the play. Danny Jansen as well, as Hicks comes in to score.
And now the Yankees will bring the tying run to the plate with 2 down in the 8th inning. And it's Clint Frazier, who is 1 for 3, had a base hit his last time up. Fastball low for ball 1. The walks creating the issue here this inning. They haven't hit him hard. One of the walks has come around to score. Check swing. Well, that's a good job by Frazier to take that pitch.
Yeah, pretty good breaking ball, but it was down and away.
Missed again.
There are no easy games in September.
And he walked another one. The third walk given up by Bass here in the 8th inning, and the bases are loaded. And now Charlie's got a decision. Does he leave him for one more batter to face Higashioka, or does he go to Dolis? And it looks like he's going to leave him.
Well, and Dolis has had his issues issuing walks to the first batter when he comes in. So Charlie's now contemplating his next move. Dolis is ready, no question about that. And now he's waiting to see what the other side's going to do. And have they announced a pinch hitter?
Yeah, I think Gary Sanchez was announced as a pinch hitter for Higashioka, I do believe. Yeah, that's the case. So that's what Charlie was waiting for. Weekend presented by TD is happening this Saturday and Sunday, and we have tons of Blue Jay prizes to give away with our Fan Frenzy contest. Enter for your chance to win autographed Blue Jays merchandise, Blue Jays experiences, and more. We'll be announcing winners all weekend long. Contest rules and entry at BlueJays.com/FanFrenzyContest. Well, this one has gotten a little bit more stressful for the Blue Jays and their fans. It is 4-1, and the Yankees have the bases loaded with 2 outs in the 8th inning. And now we see Rafael Dolis, Buck, for the first time in a while.
Yeah, and Dolis is in with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Dolis has had his issues with walks. He has walked 14 this season. He's had his problems retiring the leadoff man. He's only retired 10 of 18 this season. And Gary Sanchez will come on as a pinch hitter for the catcher, Higashioka.
Sanchez, you saw, not hitting for much of an average at all, but he does have power, and the bases are loaded, and looks like Aaron Boone has taken his shot for one big swing of the bat right here. And a high slider gets called a strike. Sanchez not happy. It's 0-1.
Yeah, I don't blame him. It looked like it was a high pitch that was called a strike.
First appearance in 6 days for Dolis. Remember the knee injury at first base on the ball in Philadelphia where Vladdy ranged to his right. Dolis came over to cover. Has not pitched. Avoided an IL stint, fortunately, but has not pitched in 6 days. And a swing and a miss. Boy, he went after a fastball that bounced, and it's 0-2.
Wow, what a break that is. I think Sanchez let that first call get in his head. Watch this swing. This ball bounces in front of home plate.
The 0-2, and he almost hit him. And if Gary Sanchez could have that one over, you got to take that pitch in the bicep, right?
Absolutely. If he turns his back into this breaking ball, he gets hit by a pitch, but he turns away from it. That's a break for the Blue Jays. I don't know how he got out of the way of it.
Remember, Aaron Judge is on deck in the 9 spot after he pinch hit for Brett Gardner last inning. Got to get this guy.
Anthony Bass had never walked more than 1 batter in an outing. In fact, he'd only walked 6 all season long. And he walked 3 in this inning.
And he is sweating out this 8th inning right now with Dolis on the mound. The 1-2. And a fly ball high in the air to deep left center. Grichuk back. And he makes the catch up against the wall. Sanchez missed a grand slam by just a few feet. Still 4-1 Blue Jays. Time now for a Blue Jays Central update. Jamie and Joe in the Samsung studio. Game and one of the biggest plays of the year is brought to you by TD, proud fan and official bank of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Gary Sanchez has a lot of power. He's got 10 home runs this season. The bases are loaded, 2 outs. Grichuk going to the track, to the wall, jumps up and makes the catch. Inches away from a grand slam home run by Sanchez, and big smile breaks out Randall Grichuk. I had it all the way, man. He's really played well in the center, and that was a great catch.
Boy, were there a lot of Blue Jays fans covering their eyes while that ball was in the air. But they get out of it and take a 3-run lead to the bottom of the 8th, and Aroldis Chapman makes his first appearance of the series. He hasn't pitched in a while, as the Yankees have been in so many blowout games lately, so Aaron Boone will get him an inning of work here, even though the Blue Jays are up by 3. Sanchez stays in the game to catch after pinch hitting for Higashioka. Gurriel tonight 1 for 3, an infield hit and a couple of strikeouts. Swing and a miss, 1-1. It'll be Gurriel, Kirk, and VR for the Blue Jays here in the bottom of the 8th. As Panik and Shaw look on from the dugout. Top of the 9th. Again, remember, Judge is in the 9 spot. It'll be Judge, LeMahieu, and Voit for the Yankees. 100, 1-2. Guerrero's had a really good night. 3 for 4, including a home run. Hyun-Jin Ryu, the big star of the night for the Blue Jays, 7 scoreless innings. On 101, he got a piece of it, but lifts a lazy fly ball to right field. Judge there, 1 down. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Kids have had a good night. Guerrero, Biggio, Bichette, Kirk, all in on the offense for the Blue Jays tonight. And here he is. The man, the myth, the legend.
Well, he certainly had a big hit his last time up in the 6th. A 2-run double down the left field line.
And we've talked how he can turn around a fastball. Go get him, Tiger. Here's Aroldis Chapman. He's had an interesting couple of weeks in the big leagues, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. From taxi squad to possibly playing in the postseason.
0-2. Got a piece of that. Teoscar Hernandez and the Blue Jays hoping to celebrate not that long from now. Up 4-1, bottom of the 8th with a magic number of 1. And a slider to get him. That's nasty.
Yeah, 91 miles an hour when he threw 100 and 101 in this inning, and then he throws this. I don't know if that was a slider or what. It didn't have any spin on it. It was almost like it was a splitter. I have not seen that from Chapman before. It had no spin whatsoever. Like he had thrown a split. The
2 down, and here's Jonathan VR. They are 1 for 3 with a base hit and a stolen base. Oh, and 2. Boy, he is bringing it tonight.
Yeah, he hasn't pitched in a while. How about these two? They played on a championship team in Double-A. They have come through the system together. They're a big part of this team and a big part of the future for sure.
A couple of guys who've been really confident about the team's prospects right from the beginning of this season. They're not surprised to be in this situation. And he got him. Chapman with a 1-2-3 bottom of the 8th. The Blue Jays 3 outs away from clinching a playoff spot. Dolis heading back to the mound. The home of the Blue Jays for the 2020 season. They have played well in Buffalo. They are playing well tonight. They are leading 4-1, and they are on the verge of clinching a spot in the postseason. They lead the Yankees 4-1. Rafael Dolis, who retired Gary Sanchez, to end the 8th with the bases loaded on a fly ball that missed a grand slam by about a foot or two, is back out there for the 9th. Lourdes Gurriel and everybody else checking their cards, checking their info. This is not going to be easy. It'll be Aaron Judge, DJ LeMahieu, and Luke Voit. 9-1-2 in the Yankee lineup coming up in the 9th inning.
Dolis has 4 saves in 5 opportunities. Trying to close out the Yanks.
And inside for ball 1. Judge's second at bat, pinch hit for Brett Gardner in the 7th inning and flied out. And a strike, 1-1. So many different players who have contributed in so many different ways this year, and they've had their ups and downs. They've got their flaws, but they have played well enough to put themselves in the situation in which they find themselves right now. Ball 2. This guy playing all over the field and solidifying himself as a leadoff hitter. Right there, 2-2.
You can see Judge understands his job. He's got to get on base to start this top of the 9th inning. He was able to take a couple of strikes. So many players have had their moments, and so many players have contributed to this season. Bo Bichette was out for 27 games, and Santiago Espinal stepped in and did a heck of a job. Brando Grichuk's been in and out of the lineup a couple different times. Jonathan Villar came over from Miami and hasn't quite played the way he had hoped to. He wants somebody's attention right now.
I think Luis Rivera probably trying to find out where he should play right now with a 2-2 count. He's playing Judge basically up the middle. The 2-2 again, and a slider outside, a full count. Guerrero trying to encourage Dolis, get him back in the strike zone. LeMahieu on deck. got him. A breaking ball to get Judge swinging one down.
Boy, I tell you what, Dolis has walked the tightrope this year, and he throws a 3-2 breaking ball, the leadoff man here in the 9th inning, and gets Aaron Judge. And he just flips it right up there, totally confident that he could throw it for a strike, and he delivers. Remember, Dolis closed for 4 seasons in Japan. He's got a low heart rate. Not much bothers him.
He's got a lower heart rate than most people watching the game at home right now, wouldn't you say?
I sure do.
Here's DJ LeMahieu. Swing and a miss, 0-1. LeMahieu, a quiet 1 for 4 on the night. Nobody up in the bullpen. The 9th belongs to Dolis. Saw Jonathan Davis there. A couple of big hits, a couple of big catches for him in his limited opportunities.
Jonathan Davis hit a 2-run home run off Jay Happ. The only runs in a 2-1 win the last time the Yankees were in Buffalo. He's made contributions. There's Alejandro Kirk. What a story he has been. Coming off the taxi squad to play an important role down the stretch.
And when it could have fallen apart, Buck, it was the bullpen that held them together.
Absolutely it was.
Yeah. You know, like from game 20 to 40 or whatever you want to say, it was the bullpen that held them together. And it was so many different guys in so many different roles throwing so many innings.
Anthony Kay was a part of that. Thomas Hatch, Jordan Romano, Ryan Baracki, A.J. Cole. T.J. Zoik had a good outing the other night. Nate Pearson is active once again. Patrick Murphy came up and had a couple of good outings. Shun Yamaguchi has had his moments as well.
Again, the 0-2. Rowdy Tellez was on such a great run when he suffered the knee injury. You know, he made up for the loss of Bo Bichette for a couple of weeks, the way he was swinging the bat. They're hoping to get him back at some point. One, two. Bounced in, 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's Shoemaker's bat. Robbie Ray acquired one of the 3 arms they got at the deadline.
Everybody has had their moments. Everybody has had a contributing aspect of this team season.
One down in the 9th inning. And the 2-2 pitch. And did he go? Yes, he did. LeMahieu chased. Back-to-back strikeouts for Dolis.
And the slider gets LeMahieu. And Dolis gets on top of it, and that ball breaks down and away from LeMahieu. He certainly went after it. Back-to-back strikeouts here in the 9th.
And they're an out away. Very likely the 8th seed in a year where 8 teams get in each league, but right now they don't care one bit about that.
Anything can happen in a 3-game series.
Luke Voigt. Fastball runs in for ball 1. Voigt a quiet 1 for 4 tonight. A lot of quiet for the Yankees. The loudest noise they made was on the near grand slam. If Gary Sanchez had hit it 2 feet further, the Yankees would have taken the lead, but Grichuk jumped and made the catch right at the wall. And now they're an out away. Fastball right down the middle, 1-1.
Dolis got off to a little bit of a sluggish start. His velocity has been consistent throughout the course of the summer. His splitter has been a wipeout pitch. The slider has been good for him. And he has certainly been a valuable part of this bullpen. Looking for his 5th save of the season.
A little bit low, 2 balls and a strike. Fouled off, and it's 2-2, and now they're a strike away. And it sounds loud in Buffalo. Couple of newcomers to the team this year. Travis Shaw, Joe Panik, not on the lineup tonight, looking on and hoping to be part of a celebration moments from now. And the pitch taken by Voit, a full count.
2-2 slider. He bounced in the dirt. Well, if he continues the pattern he has set in this inning, he's going to throw a slider. He struck out Judge with a 3-2 slider, got LeMahieu with the slider.
The 3-2 and a fastball fouled off at the plate. Voit stays alive.
Boy, that's all he could do with that pitch. That was a 96-mile-an-hour heater, running down and in.
You know, he has stayed the course. He has stayed true to himself. He has stayed positive. He still looks a little stressed under that mask because it ain't over yet.
Second year as a manager.
And again, the 3-2 pitch. And a little chopper up the third baseline, and that's going to go for a base hit.
Nothing you can do about that. Well, swinging roller up the first baseline. Voigt's limping back to the bag. He's been bothered with a leg foot injury for a while, just plays through it. As you can see, he's limping quite a bit as he makes his way back to first.
So now with a runner on, it'll be Aaron Hicks. The tying run moves into the on-deck circle, and it's Giancarlo Stanton. Can Dolis finish it right here? Strike one. Fastball just above the knees. What a job that guy did tonight. 7 great innings from Hyun-Jin Ryu.
No runs, 5 hits, walked 2 and struck out 4. Most important start of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. The deepest start of the season for any Blue Jay pitcher. Oh, 0-2, and again they're a strike away.
97 miles an hour with that last heater. This team has been through so much, and what a moment this would be.
the pitch. And it's outside, ball one.
Changed his delivery a little bit when he threw that splitter, trying to mess up the timing of Hicks.
Struck out the first two batters, gave up an infield hit on a swinging bunt up the third baseline. And now Dolis ahead of Hicks 1-2. Jansen the side. Dolis the set. On the way, swing and a miss. He got it. Rafael Dolis finishes it off, and the Blue Jays are headed to the postseason. And now we finally see the release of the emotion and the smile from Charlie Montoyo in the dugout. The Blue Jays are going to be playing playoff baseball. As you said, they earned it. They had adversity on a number of levels, and they didn't make it easy on themselves at times. But they're here, and they deserve what they're getting right now.
Absolutely. Look at Charlie Montoyo finally showing his emotion, how proud he is of this ball club. He's been so reluctant to talk about the postseason, talk about the wild card, but now he can enjoy it. They are in, and they are going to the postseason. Lots of players contributed to this effort. Vladdy Guerrero finishing up on a high note. Danny Jansen with a couple of great games. Everybody making a contribution, and how about Dolis picking up the save in a very stressful situation.
And as happy as they are to be in, they don't consider themselves, pushovers for whoever they play in the playoffs. They get a lot of confidence that they can sneak up on some people, make some noise in October, but they'll think about that tomorrow. They're going to celebrate a little bit tonight.
Absolutely, and I think when you see what they can do with Hyun-Jin Ryu on the mound, and he can set the tone for any series, 3 games, 5 games, 7 games, he is truly a big-time pitcher, and he showed it tonight.
The 8th time in franchise history that the Blue Jays had advanced to the postseason. Charlie Montoyo is the 4th different manager to lead them into the postseason. And it's official when you get the t-shirts, right, Buck?
It sure is. And after 2016, there have been some lean years, but that's not the case any longer. And this is a young core of players that have big aspirations. The youngest position player team in baseball, and they have secured their spot in the postseason.
And their t-shirts are saying that you better give them a little bit of respect. Boy, what a collection of characters that's come together, whether it was through free agency or trades or up from the alternate playing site, but they meshed. And I'm with you. I think they turned a negative into a positive. I think how close they became at summer camp and all the, the ordeal of trying to find a home, it brought them together. And call us sappy if you want to, but I think we both think that helped them this year.
I know it helped them. There's no doubt in my mind. When they spent so much time together, they really got to know each other because there were so many different players coming from different organizations. Anthony Kay had some big moments for the ball club. Remember his outing in Atlanta when he inherited the bases loaded and got out of it without allowing a run. Nate Pearson is back on the active roster, and he's got a chance to help out. So there are a lot of great stories on this team. I mean, how about the guys like A.J. Cole that really got a chance to recapture their career here in Toronto? Joe Panik, he was kind of an afterthought in spring training, and he comes on and plays a big role in this team. There's a lot of guys that should be proud of what they've done through all of this.
Yep. Lost so many players to injury, endured a 6-game losing streak last week, and righted the ship in time to win 4 of their next 5. Just took 3 out of 4 from the Yankees, who were playing for something. Finished the season series 5 up and 5 down with the Yankees, and have clinched a berth in the playoffs.
Everybody was so concerned when the Yankees pummeled them in New York. Everybody but the players. Everybody but Charlie Montoyo. They said, we'll be all right. Remember the theme? Everything is fine. We're fine. We'll be fine. And here they are celebrating, going to the postseason. Hyun-Jin Ryu's been a great teammate since he joined the Blue Jays. And tonight, he showed you what he's all about.
And in the playoffs, you need a number 1. They got a legit number 1.
They got a legit number 1 that can beat anybody. You win the first game of a 3-game series, all you got to do is split the next 2.
Looks like they're trying to set up for a photo out of the field. They're having too much fun to get organized.
Taijuan Walker, Tanner Roark, newcomers to the organization. Vladdy Guerrero signed as a teenager. Experienced this in the minors. Got his GoPro back on.
in the least surprising development of the night.
Santiago Espinal, what a part he played. Espinal filling in for the injured Bo Bichette.
Does that sum up this team better than anything?
Yeah, teamwork. Let me get that camera rolling.
Getting Bo back. Boy, Bo missing 27 games. Romano missing so much time. Ken Giles out virtually the whole season. Shoemaker was out. Pearson was out. Thornton was out, never came back. Rowdy Tellez out right now, but they found a way. Survive and advance. And they have advanced into the postseason.
Yes, they have. And now they're going to enjoy this tonight. And they've got one more series to go, and they can fine-tune whatever they feel like they need to fine-tune. But they are in. First time since 2016. And now this is something that they have experienced as a team in the minors. And they're going to go through it once again. First time in the big leagues.
Don't go anywhere if you're watching. We've got interviews coming. But what a special moment for the 40 players who are on that field right now. That's a pretty good shot right there.
They're home in Buffalo, and they made the best of it. Charlie Montoyo should be proud.
The Blue Jays beat the Yankees and advance to the postseason. Don't go anywhere. Interviews and more celebrating to come. We're back in 30 seconds.